Astrodome in Houston, Texas is sold out as AFC Central rivals, the Oilers and the Bengals, are ready to tee it up. The Oilers start the day tied with the Steelers for the division lead, while the Bengals are looking to end a 4-game losing streak after a good start this year. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Crickey with Paul McGuire. David Shula, the young coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, right now has a team that's not scoring points, is giving up a lot of points. But David Shula's conceding nothing. He said we played winning football at the start of the year. He thinks they can again with some execution.
That's it. The key to winning in the National Football League, if you don't execute, you just don't win. Right now, these got players that are young players. Some guys are playing at different positions. They're just not executing, and they're losing.
For the Bengals to win, Boomer Esiason has to have a big game against the heavily favored Oilers. Boomer, as you know, has been struggling this year, has thrown more than twice as many interceptions as touchdowns.
Yeah, well, that goes back to your offensive line. Boomer Esiason is the 27th rated quarterback in the National Football League. He is just not having a good year, and it's been progressively getting worse since 1988. But when you take a look at this team, though, the best offensive lineman is this man, Kevin Sargent, who is a free agent. That tells you something.
Stepping in for one of the great players in the history of the game in that position, Anthony Munoz, who's injured. If this is to finally be a Super Bowl season for the Houston Oilers, most agree they'll have to have the home field advantage. And to get that, they've got to go on a win streak, and Warren Moon's the guy who can get you on a win streak.
Well, yeah, you got to take a look at Warren Moon. The one thing Cincinnati must do is stop Warren Moon.
Oilers kick it off to start the game. The ball is driven downfield, and this is Milt Stegall taking it from the goal line to the 15, and he's out to the 20-yard line. So the Bengals will start the day with their offensive unit on the field, 1st and 10 at their 20. Boomer Esiason steps out, the man who was the most valuable player in the National Football League in 1988. Harold Green is his primary runner. McGee, his top receiver. They could go to Carl Pickens, the great young player from Tennessee. Much more today. Offensive line with Sargent, a free agent, starting at left tackle. Kozerski, Arthur, Melander, and Walter. The blocking front for Boomer, who was hit 25 times by the Oilers 2 weeks ago when Houston won at Cincinnati. Pitching on 1st down. Boomer with a wide open Carl Pickens gets the ball out. Pickens fumbles. Ball on the field.
I think Cincinnati got it back.
It looked indeed, Paul, the Bengals did get the ball back. So the conservative Bengal offense, which has been running mostly on 1st down, comes out pitching and gets the big gainer.
You know, we were expecting Cincinnati to come out and run the football, but look at this. Pickens gets the ball. Now he gets drilled right there by Gray. The ball comes out, and Cincinnati Bengals, I think it's McGee, number 84. He gets back in, and he ends up getting the football. I thought that Cincinnati, really, I thought they'd come out trying to run the football.
Well, that's what they have been doing. But now they get the big gainer on 1st down out to the 46-yard line, a 26-yard gain. It's McGee in motion for the Bengals. Esiason swings it out, and Harold Green, wide open, drops the ball. In fairness to Boomer Esiason, he's missing a lot of key people, including his favorite back over the years coming out of the backfield, James Brooks, who's now with Tampa Bay. There's the front seven for the Houston Oilers. Big pass rushers, Ray Childress, having an all-pro season, maybe a NFL MVP defensive season, player of the year. Ishman and Gray are the corners. Bubba McDowell and Marcus Robertson, 2 enforcers, are the safeties. Both are grand slam hitters. 2nd down and 10 for the Bengals. Esiason off the long count, stands in. He gets some time, dumps it off. Green out of the backfield is quickly closed on by Eddie Robinson, a first-year player, number 50, who's starting at outside linebacker. What a great football name, Eddie Robinson. He's no relation to the great Eddie Robinson, who's coached more victories than any college coach in history at Grambling. But he has really stepped up. Jack Pardee thinks this kid is going to be a terrific player. They caught Johnny Meade. That's how good they think rookie Eddie Robinson is. Now, Esiason gets set to throw from the shotgun on 3rd down. Bengals need 7. Boomer overshoots his man, looking downfield at Jeff Query, number 89, who was a Houston Oiler, waived by the Oilers this summer. So the Bengals get a big play on their first play, and then the drive stalls.
One of the things that Houston just did is they put two defensive backs up on a line of scrimmage, disguised the defense, and then pulled them off. That time, Boomer thought he had a chance of going to Query on the outside, but by the time he got back over there, they were double covered.
There's Webster Slaughter, the free agent, a former Pro Bowl player with the Cleveland Browns, who signed with the Houston Oilers. He's back to return the punt. He'll play more from scrimmage also. High punt by Lee Johnson. Very well done. Forces Webster Slaughter into a fair catch at his 18-yard line. And there, the #1 pass offense in the National Football League will go to work when we come back as Warren Moon is bringing the Oilers offense out onto the field.
That's what I was talking about on third down with Houston. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive backs. Here are the other two right here. Now look at the disguise and what happens to them. Watch after the ball is snapped how they get back out of and into coverage. Here they come. They're outside. Boomer's trying to throw to Query on the outside. He's double covered. There's no place to throw the ball. Just a good disguise of the defense.
Giannetti, the defensive coordinator for the Houston Oilers, drawing it up on the board as Warren Moon gets set to go to work. As mentioned earlier, 2 weeks ago at Riverfront Stadium, he threw for 5 touchdowns against the Bengals. 38-24, Houston win. To the run they go. And it's end around as Ernest Gibbons on a surprise play. Markers come in from all over, Paul. Looks like somebody got his cage.
Yeah, you know, you've got to let go. It's it's incidental contact, really. You're just reaching out to try to grab a cage. And I think it's McDonald, number 56, who is the linebacker, coming out to the outside. He's just trying to slow down Gibbons, and he grabs him right by the face mask.
Here's referee Pat Haggerty.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty on the defense.
I don't know why they're booing. Here it comes. McDonald's just trying to reach in there and grab it. He grabs. It's incidental contact because he gets rid of it as fast as he can. I mean, I know that players don't try to do that.
He's been a standout, though, a first-year player from Pittsburgh, who not only is a starter for the Bengals as a rookie, but he also calls a lot of the defensive signals. He's a smart kid as well as a terrific athlete. You see the red gun offense of the Houston Oilers with Warren Moon pulling the trigger, Lorenzo White having a terrific year, averaging over 5 yards a rush, and then you have the Fab Four catching all those passes. Haywood Jeffries leads the pack with 45 receptions, 6 for touchdowns. Huge offensive line and a very good one. Oilers very sound up front. They give Warren Moon time to work this red gun. Now he runs out of time, and Crumry gets him at the 42-yard line. So Tim Crumry with a big play.
Well, what they're doing, Cincinnati, they've only have two defensive linemen down. Crumry is one of the defensive linemen, and when you see him move back to the outside, he's playing defensive end. There are also a couple other linebackers in there with him. Williams is in there, Stubbs is in there, and of course McDonald's a linebacker. There you're taking a look at the 2 outside guys, quick, are linebackers. They get down on the line. Williams sometimes will get out to the outside.
Bengals do well rushing the passer. They have 24 sacks, now 25. 6 defensive backs in for Cincinnati. Lorenzo White cutting back. Big play by White. He's ahead to the 49-yard line, and he has a first down for the Oilers. Tackled by rookie safety Darrell Williams from Miami of Florida.
All right, when I was talking about the Cincinnati defensive alignment, they only have one other defensive lineman. Fryer is there, and they're trying to stop the run with the big backs. Now, McDonald's is trying to get on a block. Ruth Matthews just makes the block downfield, and Lorenzo White picks up the first down. Against Cincinnati in Week 6, Lorenzo White had a field day running the football, and this is the defense that Cincinnati believes that they can put up against them by having Fulcher up near the line or sometimes on the line to stop the running game.
He had a career day, Paul, as you know, against the Bengals 2 weeks ago. 149 yards rushing for Lorenzo White, the former All-American from Michigan State. Here's a throw and a catch. Haywood Jeffries makes the reception but pays the price. A gain of only a couple yards. The ball might have come out.
They're saying down.
Whistle dead.
Yeah, they blew the ball dead. You can't go anywhere. Fulcher is roaming the line of scrimmage, and what Fulcher's job is he reads quarterback's eyes. That's his job. Watch David Fulcher. He goes back. Now he gets back to the outside. He sees Jeffries. He looks back at Moon. He sees him throw the ball, and there he is in on the play. He's down. I don't care if the ball comes out or not. The whistle had blown. He was down.
Gain of less than 2 yards on the play. Brings up second down and 8. For the Houston Oilers, no score. Oilers with their first possession after forcing a Cincinnati punt. Moon gets rid of the ball, makes the connection. And the forward progress will be good for a Houston first down to the 40-yard line of Cincinnati. Antoine Bennett, an extra defensive back, made the tackle on Curtis Duncan, number 80. Keys to the game for the Houston Oilers, in the opinion of Coach Jack Pardee. Don't turn it over.
And more audibles at the line of scrimmage. That's Moon coming up. Read the defense and then checking off. Now here it's easy because the dome is quiet when Houston has the ball. So now you look at the other side of the coin. What does Shula have to do defensively? Stop the run. Remember, we talked about that. We'll get to the other one in just a moment.
They want to get Warren Moon in passing situations. They go to the run on first down, and again Lorenzo White responds as he's down to the 31-yard line.
I said, stop the run. Now that's 2 times Lorenzo White has run the ball for over 6 yards. No big pass plays. 20 plus. When they're talking about Moon being able to go downfield with the ball. So far, his longest pass is to Duncan, and that's for about 9 yards.
Oilers coming off a last-minute loss at Denver last week that Pardee called heartbreaking. They had a team meeting early in the week. There was a lot of missed assignments in that game by the Oilers and a lot of penalties committed by them. But they still seemingly had the game won until Elway pulled off more heroics, just as he did against the Oilers last January in a playoff game. Warren Moon looks for it all. He's got an open Ernest Givens. He's in. Touchdown. The electric slide. Sanctified.
That's one of the things we talked about. Moon that time, I believe, did audibilize it. The line of scrimmage runs a play action. Watch this. Second and short, freezes the defense. Eric Thomas, number 22, doesn't even get close.
Beautifully done by Givens. You see him duck his feet inside the pylon. Touchdown, Houston, and the extra point by Del Greco is knocked up and through. So the Oilers hit the big play early. Warren Moon to Ernest Givens. That's Ernest's 7th touchdown reception of the season. So the Bengals, as they feared, find themselves in an early hole. Ernest Givens just in the end zone on the payoff end of a 30-yard scoring play, combining with Warren Moon, and then the electric slide, his patented dance. Sanctified version. We'll see Ernest actually give a little demonstration of that, how it's done. Teaching Mr. McGuire, who thought might pull a muscle doing it, but he did pretty well. You'll see that after the kickoff.
I thought I did it better than Ernest, and let the people judge themselves.
Del Greco, who's having a terrific year kicking the ball, 9 of 11 field goals. He's hitting all the long ones, drives the ball downfield. Milt Stegall again. 20. He breaks it all the way out to the 30-yard line. So the Bengals will go on offense for a second time, and now, while they undo the pile, let's take a look at Ernest Givens and Mr. McGuire, electric slide.
Now, Ernest, when you score a touchdown in the National Football League, you have something more unique than anyone else. What do you call it?
I call it electric slide.
Electric slide.
Electric slide. Sanctified version.
Sanctified version.
Right.
Okay. Now, do you think that you could teach me how to do it in one take?
I can show you.
All right, I'll follow you. I'll follow you. Yeah.
You sure now?
Whatever you want to do.
You slide now.
Slide.
In a moment, we're going to see Paul McGuire's version as ball. This is Green going to the run, and he's out across the 35-yard line and out to the 37. A good gain on the play. Now we'll see Mr. McGuire try the electric slide.
You know what I call that?
What?
That's called the battery-operated mystified version.
Okay, you have yours, I have mine.
I thought I was better than him, to be honest with you.
Wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
Needs a little work, but
He does.
he's got it down. He's the originator. Here's Harold Green again as the Bengals get a first down, powering the ball out across their 40-yard line. Kevin Sargent, the left tackle starting for the injured Anthony Munoz, is out of Eastern Washington.
Is it working?
He has memories of one of his Houston teammates, David Klingler, the top draft choice. It was Klingler and the University of Houston Cougars who beat Eastern Washington last year 71-0. Klingler had, what, 8 or 11 touchdowns? I forget how many. He had a career, though, that day. Handoff goes to Harold Green. He's straight ahead out across the 45-yard line. He's out to the 47. Lee Williams and Ray Childress were on the stop.
And this is what the Bengals have to do. Now, remember before the Bengals years past throw the ball. Now, look at them. This is what they have to do. Run the ball, try to pick up 5 or 6 yards on first down. Opens up the play-action pass if Boomer wants to do that. Interesting thing talking to Houston. When was the last time you heard anybody say we would rather have Cincinnati throwing the ball than running the football? We'd rather have them throwing it. That's unusual.
Bengals 27th in pass offense. 4 years ago, they had the #1 offense in the NFL. Handoff again as Green, a hard-working back out of South Carolina, takes the ball across midfield on a 2nd down and 4 play. He's close to a first down.
They're going to measure this one, I think.
Latham was on the tackle, one of the outside backers. Lamar Latham, who's also an ex-Houston Cougar. Delighted to have the people from Houston, Texas, able to see the game today on NBC affiliate KPRC television. Sold out in time.
This is a first down.
It is indeed.
And this is the thing that Cincinnati must do. Now, Houston has got the ball, went right down the field in a perfect drive and scored. Cincinnati has got to hold on to the football. They've got to drive the ball down the field and try to score 7 points. Not 3s are not going to be enough. They've got to get 7.
The left side of that line is really coming off the ball. Sargent, the rookie, Bruce Kazerski, and Mike Arthur opening holes in the right side of the Oiler defense. Play fake to Green. Esiason stands in. Open man. He makes the connection down to the 24-yard line. Coming off the flank and over the middle is rookie Carl Pickens.
You see what the running plays do to the defense? It freezes them. Now when you go back and you run a play-action pass, watch the room that Pickens has downfield. They're playing zone defense. Bud McDowell just does not get over. He's trying to get downfield. Robertson is down there. But that play-action pass freezes the linebackers and enables the receivers to get in the middle of the field.
See, Pickens had only 7 catches coming into the game. He's got 2 today for 50 yards. Green. Watch Ray Childress, who has a standout season every year, but this is maybe his best yet.
Ray Childress, Lamar Latham, they're both in there on the play. Childress 79, Latham 57. Here's Childress. The block is coming right here. Melander's right there, and Childress turns back inside. But the guy that really makes the play was Lamar Latham.
Childress slowed him up, and Latham finished him off.
That's Childress' job. He's got to stand that man up in the hole and make sure that it does not open the hole or get taken out of the hole.
Green. Hit. Spinning. Smacked again by Marcus Robertson, and still lunging ahead for plus yards as he's down to the 17-yard line of the Oilers.
Boy, Marcus Robertson just came in and just submarined right at the point of attack on Green. Watch this. Green spins. Here comes Marcus. Down underneath. Bam. That's a good hit.
He's a knockout tackler, Marcus Robertson. He started in the Kansas City game. Has been in there since. They've got a lot of good young defensive backs on this Oiler team. They've drafted them. 3:50 to go. First quarter. 7-0 Houston. But the Bengals are driving. Esiason getting time again. Into the end zone. Intercepted at the goal line. I think the play's live. Nobody touched him. Jerry Gray picks it off and runs it back.
Boy, I'll tell you, you talk about a heads-up play. He knows Jerry Gray, when he catches the ball, The ball will be spotted at the 1-yard line if he stays down. Watch this, because he's in the playing field, even though the momentum takes him into the end zone. See right here, he's not in the end zone, so he's not touched. He gets back up, the whistle did not blow, and he brings the ball back outside the 20-yard line. What a heads-up play.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By the card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By the ITT Hartford Insurance Group. And by New Hager wrinkle-free cotton pants. 100% cotton, 0% wrinkles.
Oilers going offense again with 3:32 left to play in the first quarter. They lead the game 7-0 on a Moon to Gibbons touchdown pass. Hard running Lorenzo White. Spinning and driving on and getting ahead for a gain of 7 yards. Alonzo Mitz was on the stop.
The guy that makes the mistake on this is Daniel Stubbs, number 96. He gets taken to the inside. He is the outside man on the defensive line. He has to make the play. Take a look on the right. See Stubbs get himself committed down inside? When he does that, that's 96 Stubbs, he enables White to get outside and pick up 7 yards on the play.
Stubbs originally a draft choice of the 49ers out of Miami of Florida. We played on a national championship team. He was waived by the Cowboys. Jimmy Johnson picked him up there. He played for Johnson at Miami. Came to the Bengals. Outside backers have 10 sacks so far this season for the Bengals, who came into the game with 24 quarterback sacks and got one today. Lorenzo White keeps on working. Markers down, though, in the Oilers' backfield. Might have been a motion. Might have been a hold. Might have been any one of a number of things, but none of them good for Houston.
That's right. It is a hold.
Doug Dawson. Big guy might have grabbed somebody.
Holding, number 66, offense.
Doug Dawson, the chairman of the dining club that the Houston Oilers offensive linemen have. They dine on Thursday of every week. They dine heavily.
That is some kind of bill. What was the bill the other night? It was almost $1,200.
They went through $1,100 plus of steak and lobster. 10 linemen and offensive line coach Bob Young, who himself can do some damage to those groceries.
He's bigger than anybody has on the line, and they're big.
They pay for these Thursday night dinners by fines. They find each other. Here's a penalty marker down as Warren Moon scrambles. He's on the run, looking to bail out, and does. But markers are down.
He had a free play. There was offside to the defensive line. And Warren Moon had a free play. Ricardo McDonald had a shot at him, and Moon outruns him. It's offside on the defense. It'll be first down, Houston. What a heads-up play by Warren Moon.
Good call. It was a free play.
Ricardo McDonald, I thought, might have had a shot at him, but he didn't get there. Number 56. Now, there's the offside to the left of the screen. That's offside. Now, here comes McDonald, 56. Watch him here. He's chasing Moon. Those old legs are moving. He's got some pretty good speed. Kazerski can't get to the outside. Dawson's got a hold of him. I mean, Crumrye couldn't get to the outside. Excuse me. Dawson had a hold of him.
Ricardo McDonald from the University of Pittsburgh. His brother's one of the standout backers for Notre Dame. Also an outside linebacker who's going to go high in the draft. Here's the throw downfield. Haywood Jeffries makes the catch and gets out to the 45-yard line. Eric Thomas, the cornerback, made the stop. But the Oilers, with the big thinking play by Warren Moon, get it upfield and now advance it for 10 more.
Big problem. I'm going to tell you now, the Bengals are trying to do some different things. They ran a blitz, a full-scale blitz at Moon that time. They sent 6 guys, and when that happens, remember, that only leaves you 5 covering in the secondary. Then you get one-on-one on the outside. Haywood, Jeffries, and Moon do the rest.
David Shula trying to rally his troops. They were in position to score if Boomer Esiason's last throw had been 6 inches higher. Would have been a touchdown to Pickens. But Jerry Gray went high up in the air in the end zone and intercepted to stop the threat. 7-0 Oilers. Lorenzo White takes a look. Not much there. Good defense by Cincinnati. But there is enough for the first down on a 2nd and short. Alex Gordon, 58, was the lead tackler.
Crick, we've watched Houston. This is our second time watching him, and what a difference this team makes when they have a running game. Now, when you take a look at this team running the football, you'd be really surprised to see that this team is right behind San Francisco for yards per carry. They are second in the National Football League with over 5 yards per carry running the ball. That's the Houston Oilers, folks.
And Lorenzo White is the man. He has virtually every carry. Warren Moon's the second rusher on the team, and he averages 6 yards a rush, and that went up with the last one. Now they get Moon again as Cincinnati's defense playing a very aggressive, inspired game, going after Warren Moon hard. Crumrive is looking to personally lead his team out of this losing streak. A first-team All-Pro player in the Bengals Super Bowl year.
Tim Crumrive, watch it. They send a blitz again, and Crumrive gets up inside, in the middle. The blitz is on. James Francis, number 50, is there. Fulcher is there. Sack.
And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. The Oilers win the first quarter 7-0. Back to the Astrodome in a moment. At halftime on NFL Live, the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Dan Reeves talks about the Denver Broncos and more particularly about his status as the head coach of the team. One of the big winners in pro football in the last year of his contract, and at last report, owner Pat Bowlen was not initiating any contract talks with Dan Reeves.
Well, you and I saw Reeves in Berlin, and we talked to him about it. He said, my concern now is getting this team ready to play the season. We have not talked, and we don't plan on talking. Obviously, they're not talking.
Second down and a long play coming up for Warren Moon. They need 17 to get the first down. What a throw. Picked, though. It's intercepted by the Bengals. On the run with the ball is Darrell Williams, the rookie from Miami of Florida, who has been a sensational player. David Shula said, every night I give thanks that we drafted this guy. We think he's going to be a great player. He's already a starter.
All right. You know, when we talk about Warren Moon and his interceptions, and we ask about his interceptions, they're always usually tip balls off his own people. There's the ball. It is thrown high. Givens went up to try to get it, but watch Williams. Watch the concentration. The tip drill, he gets the ball, but it's what he does afterwards. He's looking to pick up some blocks. Watch him cut back and stay in bounds. Watch the extra yardage. There's 5, 10. Man. 10 extra yards on his own. That's outstanding.
Very fine-looking ballet-type move down the sideline. So Darrell Williams evens the turnover count. One apiece, a pick each way. And Esiason takes a look, swings it out. This is Harold Green. He's got some moves. Childress comes from way off the play, makes the knockdown at the 33-yard line.
You want to see a great play Bubba McDowell made on this play here. I mean, he just saves an awful lot of yardage. I know Childress gets out there, but watch number 25. He's on the top left of your screen. Watch what he does. The blocker is Arthur coming out. Here's Bubba McDowell. Watch what he does here. Look at this play. That is outstanding.
Childress was in the backfield, went back downfield to finish him off.
That's defense, folks.
Kyle Pickens on an end around. The blocking foul against the Bengals will bring it back. Oilers not only shorted out the play and made the stop for a loss, Cincinnati misfired getting it off.
Remember when Houston ran the reverse with Givens?
Yep.
Now, they ran it real close to the line of scrimmage, and so it's almost like a handoff. Now, when Cincinnati runs it, they run it deep, and this thing gets you in nothing but a lot of trouble. It's going to be third down, and I would say refuse the penalty because it's going to be third and about 12.
Holding. Offense. Number 65. 65.
Mike Arthur, the center, called for holding. So David Shula sees his Bengal offense misfire again after the big play by defensive back Darrell Williams, who got the ball back for Cincinnati on an interception. There's David Klingler, number 15, the NCAA passing record setter from the University of Houston, who really has had very little time. As David Shula told us yesterday, Klingler, with his holdout, hasn't taken a competitive snap in a game since his last game as a Houston Cougar.
And I don't think he's going to this year either.
Missed the whole preseason. Nice play by the Bengals. Running is Eric Hall. He's inside the 30 and all the way down to the 26-yard line. On second down and 18, Darrell Ball got 17 yards.
Mike Dumas comes up and takes a hit. Dumas is going off the field, number 38. What a good call. It's a draw play, and everybody gets on their people. Arthur makes up for it. He gets on Bubba McDowell, blocks him, and here comes Dumas. Look at that hit with the shoulder. Still third down and short.
Eric Ball, a former UCLA Bruin who has great ability, but has had injuries every season he's been with the team. This is his 4th year as a Bengal. So the ball is advanced down now to the 26-yard line. 3rd down and 1 comes up. This Jim Eddy didn't take that well.
No. he didn't like it. He has better body English than anyone I've ever known. You know, talk about a guy in a ball game. Look, oh, bad. Boomer wants a mark here. It is not a first down, but he would like to know how far they have to go if it's not. Boomer called this. This is what he's looking at. He knows it's not a first down. He just wanted to find out how much room he had and what he had to do. This is still 4-down territory for this team. You're 2 and 4.
A smart call by a veteran quarterback. He also gives his team a break and gives himself time to assess the situation. Wait for the play call. Bengals were so close to a touchdown. Pickens was open, but Jerry Gray leapt up and intercepted. Handoff. First down, Cincinnati, as Derek Finner, a big back from North Carolina by way of the Seattle Seahawks, takes it ahead. The middle linebacker, Al Smith, made the stop for the Oilers.
There's a position I'd like to play on a team. You know, 3rd and 1, I go in. I pick up a first down, I go sit down. I wait for another 3rd and 1. You know, when I was saying if the Bengals didn't make it there, they would go on 4th down. They are 8 out of 9 conversions on 4th down. They like that position.
The best position, Paul, is the backup quarterback who makes $1 million a year and walks around a clipboard. Never needs a whirlpool. Esiason stands in. Here comes the rush. He looks. He throws. Nicely done by Harold Green, who is as tough as they come. He's looking for people to hit when he catches the ball and runs with it. Al Smith is a guy who's a big-time hitter. But there's a good gain on the play inside the 20-yard line.
Boomer has been running for his life most of this year. But watch here. This credit the defensive secondary. There's no place to throw the ball. There's Sean Jones trying to get to the outside and force Boomer. But the heads-up thing is to get away now. And that's what Green does. Get away, give him a target to throw at. They picked up 5 yards on the play.
Esiason banged up his throwing arm the last time they played the Oilers. Al Smith's helmet hit him. On 2nd and 4, there's not much there for Harold Green, but Esiason was very, very sharp throwing in the pregame warm-ups, as good as I've seen him.
You say there was nowhere to go? There was absolutely nowhere to go. That time Green runs in there and went to his knees. I mean, there wasn't even a crack to take a look at. He had absolutely no place to go. Watch where he runs in. Look at this hole. There is no hole. You think you see a hole? Now look. There's no hole. There's nothing. So he got on his knees. Let me scramble out of here. Let me crawl right.
Al Green putting up some good numbers. A lot of work early. He'll get more. 3rd down now. Esiason needs almost 5. He gets it. Brian Brennan heads down to the 5. He's in. Touchdown, Cincinnati. The veteran who the Cleveland Browns didn't protect. Sure-handed Brian Brennan makes the play over the middle, and Coach Pardee's Oilers get stung. And they are now, the Bengals, an extra point away from tying the game.
You know, it makes a big difference when you're a quarterback and you have time to throw the ball. See, Brennan, he just goes up inside. Nobody covers him. They're trying to cover him with a defensive end, William Fuller, number 95. You can't do that. Brennan sneaks out of the backfield. Boomer hits him. It's touchdown. What a nice play.
Jim Breach drives the extra point through. And so the Cincinnati Bengals, a big underdog, make some early mistakes, but bounce back to tie the game. A BC Eagle flies high. Brian Brennan in the end zone on the payoff end of a Boomer Esiason throw. The reason the Cleveland Browns have had a limited pass offense this year, the 2 of the reasons are here. Brian Brennan, who they didn't protect, he's now a Bengal, and Webster Slaughter, who's a Houston Oiler. Came here as a free agent. Brennan's been doing the right things for a lot of years. That was his 15th catch of the year, his first for a touchdown as a Bengal. That was Webb Slaughter you saw on the sideline. As the Bengals kick it off. Darrell Lewis loses the handle. Boom, he takes on a tackler at the 15-yard line. So Warren Moon and the Oilers offense comes back out. The long field to go. And we'll be returning to the Astrodome where there's now 10:52 to play in the first half. It's a doubleheader day on NBC Sports. Many of you will see the unbeaten Dolphins try to extend their season to 7-0 as they go against a good young Indianapolis Colt team. Denver's at San Diego today, and the Browns will be teeing it up against the winless Patriots at Foxborough. Check your local listing for the game in your area. If the Houston Oilers are to go to the Super Bowl, home field is paramount because that's unlikely they'll win in Buffalo in January or win in Kansas City in January, and they've proven again last week they have a lot of trouble winning in Denver, but if they have this field for the home field, they'll be tough to keep out of Pasadena in the playoffs, but that's a long way off.
They're having a lot of trouble today. They got to get by today before they start worrying about anywhere else.
Bengals, a team that you might expect would fold up early after they made the mistake, and the Oilers went in front, but the Bengals have been playing tough football. They've been very strong on the defensive side as this game wears on. Handoff. Lorenzo White. They get him for a loss. David Fulcher playing like the all-pro player he was for 3 straight years.
David Fulcher's playing almost a linebacker position. He's reading the eyes of the quarterback, but he also is looking at Lorenzo White. Watch this move. Bang. It's off the block, upfield, makes a tackle for a loss. That's hustle. Everybody keeps saying, I heard him talking about this guy before being on the bubble. I don't think so. Watch Fulcher. You don't play run any better than this, folks.
Saw Lorenzo White at practice yesterday. He said he expected Fulcher to come up to be playing him because, as we mentioned, Lorenzo White had a career game in the NFL for him, a 149-yard rushing game the last time that Cincinnati and Houston played. 2nd and 10. Warren Moon takes a look. Lets it go long. A man is open. What a play by Leonard Harris down to the 38-yard line. 47-yard gainer. Ricky Dixon was victimized.
Frick, I'm going to tell you, Moon had 2 guys he could have thrown the ball to.
Both running
either
open.
Givens or Harris. They both ran beyond the defensive secondary. At the end of this, watch who's open. There's Harris, and to the left of him, downfield, was Ernest Givens. What a throw.
Bengal coaches aren't saying what a coverage, though.
No.
Dixon was 5 yards off the play. So Leonard Harris, who doesn't get as many balls as the rest of those that quartet of receivers does, can make the big plays when they go to him. Former academic All-American at Northwestern. Here's a throw to Givens. He breaks it. Ernest Givens could be heading for the end zone for a second time. He's down to the 11-yard line. A 29-yard gain for Houston.
And when you get outside and you miss a tackle in a secondary, this is what happens. Watch this. There's going to be a tackle missed right here. Williams comes out, but he doesn't even make the play. The tackle is missed by Bennett, number 35, and it opens it up for Givens.
Ricky Dixon coming from off the play to make the tackle and save a touchdown. But the Oilers now have it 1st down and goal inside the 10-yard line of Cincinnati. 8:20 to play. First half. Tie game 7-7. White. Outstanding play by Alfred Williams.
Ricardo McDonald.
And Ricardo McDonald was the first to make the hit.
Whoa, that's good defense.
Williams turned it in, and McDonald made the hit. Ricardo McDonald, a 4th-round draft choice, playing like a number 1.
2nd and goal on the 10-yard line.
Warren Moon has now hit 6 of 7 throws for 127 yards and a touchdown. He's also been intercepted once.
9 times inside the 20 of the Oilers, 8 touchdowns.
They love to throw when they're down close. Play fake. Warren Moon looking at the end zone, can count the house. Now he's running out of time, and he throws it away. Hit a receiver in row A, but very nicely done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he could have counted the house. You're absolutely right. He had all day to throw the football, but the defensive secondary of Cincinnati just did a tremendous job. No one was open. Watch the time that Moon has. They only have a 3-man rush. Everybody is back in the end zone covering. There's no place to go. Here's the play. throw the ball away. The smart thing to do. Look at the end zone. Listen, that's Slaughter down there. He's got no place to go. Rod Jones is all over him.
Vulture. Astro fans have found baseballs come their way in this stadium, but very rarely do you get a $60 football. And right now, on third down, Warren Moon cocks, reloads. Here comes the rush. Moon fires, open man, incomplete. Webb Slaughter going for the ball, can't make the play.
Boy, you got to give an awful lot of credit to the Cincinnati Bengal defensive football team, because I'm telling you right now, that Ricky Dixon 29 was there. But Webster Slaughter, watch this when he goes out. But it's all Moon has all the time to throw. Here he comes. Slaughter goes in. Now he goes back out. Jones is with him. Jones is there. That ball hit Slaughter right in the hands. Should have made the catch. Moon couldn't throw this thing any better. Watch this. Right off his hand.
This will be a test of 28.
So Webster Slaughter, who had one catch last week for 22 yards, almost has a touchdown. Instead, the field goal unit comes out. A 27-yard try by Del Greco. He knocks it up and through. What a year he's having. Del Greco is now hit on 10 of 12 field goals, and he hits all the long ones. He won the game in overtime against the Chiefs with a 54-yarder. Jack Party's team, no touchdown, but they take the lead back.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last. By the Canon CJ10 full-color copier, printer, scanner. Now the power of color is yours. By Pennzoil, America's #1 selling motor oil for performance, protection, and quality. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is a right beer now.
With Paul McGuire, this is Don Crickey back at the Astrodome. And Del Greco just hit a 27-yard field goal, and now Eric Paul awaits his kickoff. He had one hopper downfield. Stiegel lets it go into the end zone, and he do well to down it. It's a live item down there. Finally, it bounces out for a touchback. Comes out to the 20, first down and 10. And so, with 7:06 to play in the first half, Boomer Esiason and the Cincinnati offense comes back out onto the field. Boomer some good numbers throwing, one for a touchdown and one pick. They were so close to being a touchdown.
Well, Houston's got to figure out a way to slow down this Cincinnati Bengal offense. They have not solved that problem, and there's the man that's got to solve it.
This man burns a lot of nervous energy on the sideline. Giannetti.
He doesn't chew gum, he beats it up.
And again, Harold Green runs the ball well, weaving his way on a delayed draw, and he takes it across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Gain of 6. Tackled by Childress.
This is the delay right here. Watch this. They go back. It's a draw play. Delay, but they double-team Sean Jones to the outside. Childress comes back after being blocked and makes the tackle. But the Cincinnati Bengals still pick up 6 yards on the play.
Oh, Texas Aggie, Ray Childress. Aggie's turning out some good ones. They got a great one up in Indianapolis you'll be hearing about. Quentin Coriat, a first-year linebacker. Here's a swing pass. It goes to Harold Green, and he turns it upfield and gets it to the 35-yard line, and it's a first down for Cincinnati. Cornerbacks Dishman and Lewis were on the tackle.
Now, one of the things that the Houston Oilers are trying to do is get to Boomer Esiason with 4 down linemen. Fuller, Childress. They got Jeff Alm in the game now, along with Sean Jones. And they're not sending any linebackers. Eventually, you're going to have to do that.
Back to the run. Here's Derek Fenner. He takes a pounding and gets the ball out to the 37-yard line. Ray Childress was telling Paul and myself yesterday that the loss last week was absolutely one that he couldn't deal with. He said it was probably the worst loss he's ever had since he's played football.
He said to us that he couldn't talk about it. Could not talk about the game for 3 days. That's how devastating it was. We had no business losing that football game to Denver.
Couldn't watch the game films, couldn't even talk about it. Now they've got their hands full to the Oilers with the Cincinnati Bengal team. It's down 10-7 to Houston. 2nd and 8. Oh, there's room to run, and Derek Fenner's ahead. It looks like he might have a first down, and a penalty marker comes in. Penalty marker came in late after Fenner hit the ground. Al Smith and Marcus Robertson were the tacklers for the Oilers.
Face mask, number 57, on the tackle.
Lamar Latham tags him on now.
I told you before that the Houston Oilers defense better figure out a way to slow down Boomer Esiason in the offense. Now, they came out of the first series of down, Cincinnati, and threw the ball. Ever since then, Boomer in the offense, they've been running the ball. Now, is this, I don't know if it's face mask. This looks like spearing to me.
That is a classic example of spearing.
But it's only a 5-yard penalty. And I don't know where the face mask came in. That should be 15 yards for spearing.
Esiason again hits an open man. This is Rodney Holman, who's been so quiet this year. Only his 8th catch of the season for a 2-time All-Pro player. Rodney Holman is really, production has tailed off. He's had no touchdown receptions. They're waiting for him to have the big game.
They really are. And the thing about Boomer is the last time they played, the Houston Oilers knocked Boomer around 25 times. This offensive line for Cincinnati today is doing the job. They're not even getting close to Boomer with the 4-down linemen.
Bengals trail 10-7, but they're driving right now. On the move is Derek Fenner, as this offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals is really coming off the ball. I mean, they're knocking people right off the line of scrimmage.
Remember what Boomer said? Now, take a look at this play, folks. And how many times have you seen this in this ball game? It's a delayed draw. He goes back and hands the ball to Fenner right here. The blocking up front is absolutely superb. And they pick up 7 or 8 yards on the play. We talked to Boomer yesterday. He said, we only have maybe 25 or 30 plays that we're going to run. And they're running the same plays over and over and over again, and they're working because of execution.
Big backs, power football. Esiason steps in. He's not afraid. He swings it out to Fenner. Look at him take on tacklers and get it down inside the 15-yard line. And Al Smith makes the tackle. And back in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Bengal fans are saying, what have we got going on here?
That's right. Let me tell you right now, the Cincinnati Bengals came in there, if anybody cares, as a 17-point underdog in this game, and they are just offensively handing it to Houston. Houston hasn't figured out a way to even slow them down.
Shula and Pardee really mirror each other, although there's a great difference in age. They're unflappable people. David, learning from his dad Don, who said, no highs and lows are going to win for you. Consistency is, as Harold Green has stopped on first down. Sean Jones, number 96, and William Fuller, 95, the defensive ends, combined on the stop.
Harold Green had to be back about 8 yards on this play. I don't know if you're supposed to line up that deep, but when he did, by the time he got to the line of scrimmage, the both ends converged. Look how far back he is. He's 7 to 8 yards deep, and here come the 2 defensive ends. Bang, bang. 95, 96. 28 goes down.
So now, an interesting play call. The Bengals have not gone to Tim McGee. He is at the top of your screen right now on 2nd down and 11. Loud noise, making it tough for Esiason. To the run. Harold Green works himself down to the 10-yard line. As we're down to the 2-minute warning, already they're well within sure shot range for place kicker Jim Breach. So the Bengals starting to look sharp. A power running game has keyed their offense today as they look to go ahead. The Bengals on the march. 9 plays, 63 yards, but no points yet as they're down to the 11-yard line. 3rd and 6 comes up for Boomer Esiason. Oiler fans kick up the decibel level. Draw play, Eric Hall, short of the first down as he is down to the 5-yard line. Cincinnati needs to win a game, Paul. Do you think they'll go for it?
Well, again, they're 8 out of 9 on 4th down. Now they're going to kick it. But I wouldn't have been surprised to see them do it. I mean, they've got an 88% average on 4th down, better than anyone in the National Football League. And Boomer's talking to him, and he wants to go back on the field, call timeout. I think they want to go for it.
Pointing something out to the holder, Lee Johnson, who's going to the official.
Oh, he wants to let the clock run down to take some time off the board for Houston so they don't get the ball back. And he's going to call timeout with about 5 seconds on the clock. And that'll have Houston with about a minute when they get the ball back with 3 timeouts. Smart call.
Number 1.
So Jim Breach is on the field, the veteran place kicker who saw that long consecutive game streak end last week. David Shula pointing to the clock as it's now set at 1:11 to play. Jim Breach on the field, ready to try a 24-yard field goal for Cincinnati, and if he makes it, it'll be knotted up at 10-all. Breach is 4 of 9 on field goal tries this season. Has had some difficulty with the long one. 5 of 9. Right through the middle is the veteran Jim Breach, the 14-year veteran from California. Knocks it up. And the underdog Bengals continue to stand tall as with 1:09 to play. In the first half, they tied the game. We're tied up 10-all late in the first half of the Astrodome. Don Quickie with Paul McGuire. The Cincinnati Bengals have been beaten the last 7 times they've come to Houston, but right now, Paul, they're giving the Oilers some surprises, and a key play was that tip ball for the interception.
Yeah, it seems like most of Warren Moon's interceptions come off of plays like this. Look at Givens going up in the air, ball in both hands. The ball is tipped. Cincinnati recovers it, gets the ball, and ends up with 7 points on the board. So that's the key to this thing, is what you do with the turnovers. Houston has not been able to slow Cincinnati down at all offensively.
Cincinnati has been power running the ball right at the Oiler defense, and that has been a very, very critical area. Offensive running game coming together today as the kickoff goes downfield to Darrell Lewis. Bengals come a-hunting on special teams. Talking about some guys making some sticks. That was Randy Kirk, who defensive coordinator Ron Lynn remembered well from their days together with the San Diego Chargers. Randy Kirk from San Diego State, Plan B acquisition. Earns his keep this day with a big special teams hit, and again, the Oilers have the long field to go with not much time to do it in. 1:06 to play in the first half. The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report is coming up shortly. A live report with Denver Broncos coach Dan Reeves.
That wasn't Bob Costas, was it? For the green head? No, I don't think so. He's back in New York. I forgot.
He's a rookie. Warren Moon lets her rip. Tip ball. Hey, no, that's a bad call. That ball was in the air and had been tipped. That's a tough call. He was going for the ball and made the connection. Let's see what the ruling is here.
They're going to say tip ball. They've got to. The ball was tipped. But the question is, could Hayward Jeffrey still have a chance to get the ball? It is tipped.
Hayward's not a happy guy right now.
Here it is. It's up in the air. Now watch Williams. Bam. Oh. I mean, that. Now, the thing about it is what they can call here is unnecessary roughness. Look at this. Yeah, I mean, he goes in with his helmet and takes his head off. That's where the call can be made. Whether the ball can be caught or not, this is uncalled for. Jeffries is there. Look at this shot. Then he hits him with the forearm to the head.
Hayward said yesterday at practice, Paul, he's taken a lot of unnecessary hits.
On the defense.
That's what the call is.
Yeah, you're right, Kirk. It's unnecessary roughness. I mean, it was uncalled for. You don't make a mistake. It's a dumb mistake as far as I'm concerned. You've got him in the hole. You've got Houston in the hole. And then you take a cheap shot.
Caught 100 passes last year, Hayward Jeffries, and he said the one byproduct of making a lot of plays, he said people really come hunting for you. And he said he's taken an awful lot of shots this year. Well, he came into the game with 45 receptions, 6 for touchdowns. You see the timeout count. Houston still has its full complement of 3 timeouts, and Warren Moon with a minute on the clock can work wonders. Other than Elway, I don't know anybody better getting a team downfield with nothing left.
No, I mean, you know, they've got a minute. They have 3 timeouts. They have enough time to run as many plays as it's going to take to get in the end zone.
The Bengals have now called a timeout. They want to be sure they have the right defensive alignment on the field. Coach Pardee, he knows it's coming up now. A deep throw from Warren Moon.
Shula wants to talk to Haggerty because what he wants to say is the ball was tipped. There was no chance to get the ball, but it was unnecessary roughness. It was an excellent call downfield.
The Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report is coming up very shortly. Gail Gardner will be visiting with Denver coach Dan Reeves, as right now an explanation is given by Pat Haggerty, the referee. The coach David Shula of the Bengals with 1 minute to play in the first half and the game tied 10-10. What do you think, Coach McGuire.
Well,
Dangerous time for any defense if he's faced with Warren Moon when he's got to get it downfield.
Yeah, and with a minute to go on the clock and 3 timeouts for the Houston Oilers, what I would, if I were Moon in their offense, is that they have a play where I call where the wide guys grip. They'll only go out about 8 to 10 yards, but the Bengals they'll give them that. Go ahead and take that little short 8 to 10 yard play, pick up the first down and get out of bounds, save the clock and save the timeout. If you try to go deep, the Bengals are sitting deep.
And here come the Oilers out of the huddle now. First down and 10 at their 32-yard line. This is a complex offense. Receivers have to know their routes. Reads what Warren Moon's going to do. Here's a throw and almost another interception. As Warren Moon drills it right in the middle of a 4-man coverage on Ernest Gibbons.
When you take a look at this thing, you see this guy here? This is Duncan coming out. And the guy on the top side, well, actually, Jeffries goes downfield. But when Duncan comes down, he'll just set it here. If Moon will just pick that up and throw it here, the rush is on, I understand it. But watch Duncan coming downfield. Now watch him set right there. If they throw the ball there, it's completed. It's a 15-yard gain.
So second down and 10 comes up with 55 seconds to play, and they go to Lorenzo White, who's out to the 39-yard line. Seattle and the Giants are tied up 3-3 in the second quarter in New Jersey. Philadelphia leads Phoenix 7-0. Chicago up on Green Bay 17-3. A surprise at Tampa Bay. The Lions lead the Tampa Bay Bucks 21-0. And a surprise of sorts here for Coach Pardee. Some felt that his team could name the score against the Cincinnati Bengals. A team that has been outscored a brutally overwhelming margin in the recent weeks, that was shut out last time 20-0 by the Steelers. First time in 175 non-strike games that the Bengals have been shut out. And today, with a power running game complemented by the Esiason passing, the Bengals have a tie game on the board with the Houston Oilers 10-10.
And what Houston's going to have to do is kind of revamp their defense when they get in at halftime. The Cincinnati Bengals, they're doing the things that they want to do. They're doing very well. And again, just talking to Coach Shuley yesterday, you talked to Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator. All they said was, if we can execute, we can still play with anyone. The problem is we've had the players out there, but they were not executing. And this man, Boomer Esiason, is having all the time he wants to throw the football. And he's just picking out his receivers.
Throws the out pattern, and Ernest Gibbons fields the ball. Curtis Duncan makes the reception. Good for a first down. Duncan performing beautifully there as he makes the reception and gets out of bounds to stop the clock. 43 seconds.
That's a play, Crick, I was talking about. All you got to do is just set them up downfield about 8 to 10 yards. You know, they're going to give you that much room to go ahead and run the ball or throw the ball out there. And Duncan, if he sits out there, he can do it all day long. Here comes Moon. They send a blitz. They send 6 guys in at Moon, which means one-on-one coverage downfield. That time Duncan gets the ball, picks up the first down. That's all you need to do. Houston's now with 1 timeout.
That's Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator with Warren Moon. They were talking yesterday about the complexity of the pass game of the Houston Oilers. The routes are all read routes, are really reaction routes. The receiver works off a tree, and he depicts where he's got to go. And Warren Moon is reading 4 receivers, all running routes that he's not sure of until they make the break.
That's right. And when you take a look at that. Did you see those numbers up there? 198 to 191 total offense. That's incredible how close this game is. You want to know how close it really is if you just tuned in? It's 10-10.
We're at the Houston Astrodome. These rivals from the AFC Central, the Oilers and the Bengals meeting for the second time in 3 weeks. Wasn't close the first time. Oilers won going away at Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, 38-24. That wasn't nearly as close as the score. Cincinnati scored 2 late touchdowns to make it respectable.
Rick, here we go. You know, when you take a look at this, I mean, it's incredible. All I want you to do is just take a look at this area right out here. And this is where the ball's going to be thrown. Moon will come back and just throw right here. All these people are off, and it picks up 8 to 9 yards. Watch it. Gibbons comes out. He breaks right underneath. There's nobody there.
Kevin Gilbride with the play sheet taped to his right wrist. One of the architects of the run and shoot. Second down and 1. 38 seconds to play in a tie game. Moon takes the look deep. Going for the ball is Ernest Givens. Almost intercepted for a second time by the rookie Darrell Williams.
Darrell Williams kicked the ball. The people want a penalty. Kicked the ball, and the ball hit Ernest Givens. But Ernest knows he was only mad. He was a little frustrated. He didn't intentionally kick the ball at him. Here's Williams. The double coverage. Moon again. You don't have to go downfield this far. Williams almost has it, and then after the play, the ball is sitting there. He gets up, and he goes over and kicks the ball, and he hits Ernest Givens with it. Bang.
Kind of a trick kick.
Oh, nice. A little sidewinder.
Our producer today for NBC Sports is Glenn Adamo. Our director, John Gilmartin. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill. At the Astrodome, 32 seconds to play in the first half. Oilers looking to drive toward perhaps a go-ahead score as they give to Lorenzo White. He's down to the 36-yard line. Oilers have a kicker, El Del Greco, who can boom it long range. Now Pardee wants it.
They won't let him up.
McGuire was great at that as a Buffalo Bill.
Well, Fryer just took the ball and put it back in the backfield. This clock is running.
They might put time on.
I would say you've got to put time out. They're going to say now Houston takes a timeout. This is terrible. Houston. Pat Haggerty, first of all, they were holding Lorenzo White on the ground. And then Fryer takes the ball, number 97, and holds on to it, won't give the ball back to Houston, takes it and drops it in the backfield. Look at this. Now he's coming in and saying, you better put some seconds on that board. He said, I call timeout. Don't charge it to Houston.
The timeout is charged to us.
That's right.
The officials, they kicked the ball. No charge timeout for Houston.
But still, there's only 12 seconds left. That being the job, the Bengals got the end result they were looking for.
Yeah, I know, but the thing about it is, there should be
got
another
time added on.
8 to 10 seconds. Now the clock's going to start again. Look at this. Moon, you've got to throw it into the ground.
This is not a good deal for the Oilers. Moon takes a drop. 5 seconds to go. He throws it, and nicely done again by Curtis Duncan, who gets out of bounds with 2 seconds left. Time for Del Greco to come up, and it moves the ball 10 yards closer to those uprights.
See, the problem here where you're absolutely right, Kirk, is when they were holding Lorenzo White on the ground, because Houston wanted to get up, had the first down, throw the ball into the ground and stop the clock. They wouldn't allow them up. That's when the officials come in and they stop the clock. That clock should have been stopped with about 20 seconds on it. They got 12. Cincinnati, they did a great thing. They got all the stuff that they wanted. Now watch. There they are. They're on the ground, and they won't let Lorenzo White up. Crumrod is down there.
Now we have a timeout called. The Bengals want to let El Del Greco think it over.
What a
47-yard field goal try. David Shula, whose team started off with 2 straight victories this year, and then in the 3rd week of the season lost a heartbreaker on the final play at Green Bay, and they haven't come out of that sinking spell since. 4 straight losses. Today is a prohibitive underdog in the local papers. The Bengals have the game tied up, but Del Greco could be ready to break that knot on the final play of the first half. And then we go to New York. Damo's Pizza NFL Live halftime report.
It'll be a 46-yard attempt. We were here when he kicked the 54-yarder in overtime against Kansas City to win the game. He's got the leg. He's got a new holder. Now he's got his old holder back. Montgomery is back. We didn't think he was going to hold because he has a bad shoulder. He's the punter.
Officially a 47-yard try. On the way. Hit the upright, caromed off, no good. David Shula comes running out on the field. Now he wants to talk to the referee. He is really hot about something. David Shula's on the field. Yeah, there he is. He might be 30 years younger than Pat Haggerty, but he's not letting that seniority rule.
Del Greco, just watch this. This ball is going right, and it looks like it's starting to come back in, but just then it just hits the top of the upright, goes to the right, no points.
So now from the Astrodome, we head to the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report and Bob Costas.
is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's. Nobody knows like Domino's how you like pizza at home.
Well, an interesting bit of business developing at the Astrodome. Cincinnati hasn't won there in their last 7 tries. Houston trying to beat them for the 8th time in a row in Texas. Now, most of that time, they were very closely matched AFC Central rivals. Here, Cincinnati is more than a 2-touchdown underdog, coming in with their record of 2-4 in their 4 consecutive defeats. But as you folks see, at the half, the score in this one is 10 apiece. And we'll get the comments of Will and OJ in just a moment. Washington has 4 field goals from Chip Lohmiller, including a 52-yarder, and the 4-2 Redskins lead the 5-1 Vikings at the Metrodome 12-0. They've just gone to the locker rooms. The Giants with a 6-3 lead over Seattle, halftime at the Meadowlands. This is not exactly an inspired performance for the Giants. It was 3-3 in the waning seconds of the half. From their own 44, here are the Seahawks trying to get in field goal range. Stan Gelbaugh is hit. He coughs it up. No Giant can pick it up. The Seahawk running back has it squared out of his hands. Eric Howard finally gets it down at the 5-yard line. They threw an incomplete pass into the end zone, then settled for a Matt Barr field goal and a 6-3 lead at the half. Philadelphia is in front at home over Phoenix, not yet to halftime, 7-0 on a 40-yard touchdown pass from Randall Cunningham to Calvin Williams. Now, at one point in this game, Phoenix had 7 plays inside the Philadelphia 3-yard line. Because of penalties, they got 7 cracks at it. Finally, on 4th down, they couldn't get in, so they are still being shut out to this point, 7-0 late in the second quarter. Chicago at 3-3, playing the Packers, who are 2-4 at Lambeau Field. The Bears with the lead, 17-10, just before halftime. Detroit, which has lost 4 in a row and has a record of 1-5, in front now at Tampa Bay at the half, 24-7 as the Lions finally begin to put it together. Rodney Peete with touchdown passes of 29 yards to Willie Green and 63 yards to Herman Moore. Barry Sanders, a 1-yard touchdown run, just his 3rd TD run of the year, part of a 63-yard first half for Sanders, who, as you know, has really been struggling to this point. Steve DeBerg replaced Vinny Testaverde at quarterback early in the second quarter for Tampa Bay. Sam Weish yanking Testaverde because of ineffectiveness. Let's begin here with O.J. and Will by talking about Cincinnati and Houston. You've been watching this first half. What do you think?
Well, we've been watching it. You know, my pregame feature was on the also-rans in the NFL. Now, Will, I'm getting to the point I can't tell the also-rans from the good teams. Now, Houston, you mentioned in the earlier today that you thought Buffalo and Houston would challenge Miami. Houston, a team that never lost at home. They lost to Pittsburgh already this year. They're going up against the second to the last defense in all of the NFL, and they only have 10 points. I can't explain it.
Juice, let me tell you what's happening today. You got 3 games going on right now where there's a team that's a 2-touchdown favorite, and every game they're struggling. I think it's that time of year for the good teams to sort of flatten out, okay? The big thing I noticed in this game is Esiason's arm seems to be better. I think people around the league felt the way he's been struggling this year, he's had a sore arm, but in this game, as I watched him, he seems to be throwing the ball better than at any time he has this year.
He's had the bad wing. He's had the banged-up offensive line. There was a time when Ickey Woods and James Brooks were a tremendous backfield duo. That doesn't exist anymore. So it's a different set of circumstances entirely for Boomer.
Yeah, and for a lot of other guys in the league, but we're talking about Boomer right now. He just doesn't have the weapons that he had before. The offense is basically the same because I think they kept Sam Weich's offense, but I think the big thing with him is the players around him aren't as good, and he's been having some physical problems.
Okay, when we come back, we'll shift the focus to Denver. Now, Dan Reeves certainly has had tremendous success, but this is the last year of his contract, and his future, quite honestly, is in doubt. Gail Gardner takes a look at that story when we continue after this.
Tied up 10-all at halftime, and this game couldn't be more even. Both quarterbacks have thrown 9 completions. There's been 1 turnover each way. A most interesting game, and as you look at the halftime numbers, the Coors Cutter halftime statistics, you see how they break down.
That 1 turnover, Cincinnati, they get the interception, and they score with it. That's the difference. They scored 7 points off the turnover. Houston didn't score anything off their turnover.
The turnover came on a tip ball. A high pass into Ernest Givens just went off his fingertips, and the rookie Darrell Williams picked it off for Cincinnati, and soon after, Esiason hit Brennan with the tying touchdown that made it a 7-all game. But the most interesting factor in this game, according to people with the Bengals organization, has been their ability to run the ball. They're using a lot of delayed draws, and Houston's been unable to stop it.
I'm just wondering if Doug Smith would have made a difference in the Houston defensive line, because he's the big guy that's not in that defensive line, and if If Houston doesn't score on this opening drive, or at least get 3 out of this thing, they're going to be in for a long afternoon against the Bengals because they are fired up for this ball game.
Again, we have a very good special teams hit by the Cincinnati Bengals. Spencer Tillman ran the kickoff back, and penalty markers are down on the field. And certainly, Oilers, Paul, didn't go into the locker room with a head of steam after the
Illegal push in the back. Number 31 on the return.
Marcus Robertson with a legal block. There it is.
Yeah, when you see the guy's name on his jersey, you don't put your hands out. There's no reason to do that.
Al Del Greco hitting the upright on a field goal try to end the first half, but it looked like the Oilers were going to take back the lead. So now Houston does start off with the ball 1st and 10 to open the third quarter, but they're in deep trouble back on their 5-yard line. Look at the numbers.
Well, Moon has more yardage down, but Boomer has been so effective. I mean, he's just putting the ball where he wants. Reason being, he has all the time that he wants to throw the ball.
Moon throwing from his 1-yard line, gets it out to Duncan, who's having a fine ball game. He had a good first half, and now opens up the third quarter with a reception, and he's out across the 20-yard line.
Correct. This is the play I talked about in the first half that's open all the time. Here comes Duncan. He comes down the field, and look at, he's got time for the ball. Makes the catch. Now, when you miss like Bennett did there, that's the second time we've seen Bennett miss Duncan. You're going to end up with a first down. Now the Houston Oilers in one play are out of trouble.
16-yard gain on the play. Lorenzo White feels the full force of David Fulcher, number 33, as the strong safety who comes in almost like a linebacker, playing well up to stop the run. Makes the knockdown, a short gain on the play.
Now, the reason, we talked about the play just a moment ago with Curtis Duncan that was open. The reason it's open is the Houston Oilers will go 3 wides to one side. Now, we talked to Moon. The only time that he comes back to that side to Duncan, who's alone over there in single coverage, is if he either has a straight drop back pass or he rolls that way. But if he rolls towards the trips area where the 3 wides are, he's got to go that way.
Now Gibbons comes back off the 3-wide set. Comes back to the near side as the ball in the air again. A long ball downfield. It's overthrown. They're looking at Leonard Harris, number 83. Ricky Dixon, who got burned earlier, has really picked up his place since that happened.
All right. Here comes this guy right here is Gibbons. Forget about that. Well, let me get him out for there right now. I'm going to clear this guy if I can. Watch Moon. When he comes this way, he's throwing this way, exactly where he goes. He tries to get to Harris here, and Jeffries is clearing out. Watch what happens. When you roll that way, Moon throws that way. I wish I could get this thing clear. There we go. There it is. Moon rolls to his left. He throws to his left. Now, he told us that.
Teams who scout him, Paul, say he equally throws left and right. His rollouts are 50% each way.
Right. Blitz.
Here's a throw and a catch. Curtis Duncan. Third down play. It's going to be very close to a first down.
I don't think he made it.
He didn't get there.
No.
I thought he had it. So the Oilers move the ball, then stall, and they'll have to punt it to the Cincinnati Bengals as Carl Pickens goes back, averaging almost 19 yards of punt return.
Look at Bennett. I mean, here he comes in now and makes the play. Now, if this ball was in the other hand, if the ball was in the left hand, exposed to the field, he would have had the first down. But Duncan had the ball in the right hand, where he was supposed to, so he doesn't lose it to a fumble.
The #1 pass offense in the National Football League, that of the Houston Oilers, stalling here today against the Bengal defense. Here is a long punt downfield by Montgomery. Pickens will run it back from his 18. He can go. Look out. It'll come back. Illegal block. Penalty markers are down. A great play, but it comes back.
Darrell Lewis finally makes the stop, number 29. But you're right, it's coming back.
52-yard punt, which is a good one, and a 56-yard return, which comes off the books as of right now.
Yeah, pushing it back. Number 83.
Brian Brennan.
On the return. Number 83.
You know, that's one of the things that really drives coaches nuts, because you're struggling all year long, and now you make mistakes that you cannot afford to make. This was a great return by Pickens, and it's for naught. They bring the ball back.
Bring it all the way back. And we'll pause for this word.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Hertz #1 Club Gold. Hertz's fastest service, now in more locations coast to coast. By the 25th Anniversary Diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage. By Delta Airlines. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. And by American Honda, who has been making quality cars in America for the past 10 years.
Back at the sold-out Astrodome, little lady with some extra leg room there. Checking out everything but the ball game. First down and 10, Cincinnati. Game tied 10-10. Harold Green runs the ball. He gets out to the 30-yard line, and a penalty marker is in. I never miss a penalty call because Coach McGuire has a little white kerchief. He spots them faster than the officials.
I was getting ready to throw it from here. If I had a golf ball wrapped up in this baby, I'd have thrown it.
Number 62, offense, still first down.
Melander, the right guard, who was not expected to start.
See my little guy? Wait, see this?
Yeah, there it is.
That's my guy. When I throw that up, cricky nose. There's a penalty down there.
Hey, I can't miss. It's no laughing matter for the Bengals, though, as they go first and 20 from their 15-yard line. Harold Green on the run. Coming up and holding on was Bubba McDowell, who has become one of the best strong safeties in the NFL out of Miami of Florida.
What a great tackle, though. This is, you talk about an open field tackle on Green. He's out there all by himself. If he doesn't make the play, Alex Smith was being blocked. That play may have picked up a first down.
They count heavily on Bubba in the huddle. He calls the defensive signals for the Oilers. Boomer gets time. There's the release. He makes the connection to Tim McGee, who's out to the 32-yard line. It'll be short of a first down by about 1.5 yards.
This is really surprising me because Boomer Esiason has all day. You talk about... Yeah, he really does. You talk about the offensive line. They haven't been protecting him. The last time they played, they knocked him around 25 times in the ball game. This offensive line has done a tremendous job for Cincinnati today. They're giving Boomer all the time in the roll, which I don't understand is why the Houston Oilers are not going after him. They've got to send more than 4 because 4's not getting there.
Good point. They're not getting there with a basic rush, which is one of the best in the NFL. Again, Esiason has time, but he's off target. Third down fails.
He was going to Pickens, and Boomer is not going to blame anybody. Yesterday, Pickens is young and he's learning. There's some times he runs patterns, and he really doesn't know where he's going. He's just still feeling his way through. Now, look where this pass is thrown. Pickens is coming inside, but it doesn't even look like he's looking at the ball. Now, from that angle, but the ball was so high, Pickens didn't have a chance to catch it anyway.
Lee Johnson, who can hit it long range like his counterpart Montgomery of the Oilers, puts his foot into a beauty. Long spiral all the way back to the 15-yard line. Fielding the ball is Webster Slaughter, and his momentum takes him right out of bounds. So again, the Oilers will go on offense the second time in the second half, and again, they'll start deep in their own end from the 15. 54-yard punt by Johnson. Next Saturday on NBC, Florida's Gulfstream Park plays host to horse racing's biggest day, the Breeders' Cup. The day's showcase race is the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic. The spotlight will be on Jockey Club Gold Cup winner Pleasant Tap, along with 91 Kentucky Derby winner Strike the Gold, and 92 Belmont Stakes winner AP Indy, plus 4 other championship races with stellar fields. It's all next Saturday at 1:30, and it's only on NBC. The Breeders' Cup, a great day in the sport of kings, as right now, Warren Moon draws him offside. Free play. He lets her rip. Connection for a 5-yard gain. Ball on the field. But the play is whistled dead. Haywood Jeffries had his hands on the ball.
Well, what do? You pick up 7 on the play and you get a penalty. So you take the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5 instead of 2nd and 4 or 3. Take the penalty. That's brilliant on my part.
They've been brilliant defensing Jeffries, Paul. He's only got 2 catches for 11 yards.
Defense, number 96.
Danny Stubbs jumped. First down's been a big number for both teams.
Yeah, the Oilers are averaging 8 yards on first down. Cincinnati 6 yards per play. Excuse me, not on first down, but per play. The Oilers are 8 yards per play, and the Bengals, which is really surprising, 6.5 per play.
But only 20 points on the board, split down the middle. A 10-10 tie as it was at the half. Boomer getting some counsel from up on high as he waits to get back in there. Right now, his friend and counterpart, Warren Moon, at work with a good play call for the Oilers. 1st and 5. Back to the near side. Wide receiver screen, and Ernest Givens is on the run, and a terrific play again by David Fulcher, who's looking every bit as good as he did back in 88, 89, and 90 when he was a first-team All-Pro strong safety.
David Fulcher, I mean, you watch the game Monday night, you watch him hit a few people at Pittsburgh, but watch Fulcher. He's on the right of the screen. Now he's going to come back into the play right here. Bang. That's actually a loss of a half a yard on the play by Fulcher. Good play defensively.
Big David from Arizona State in the Super Bowl when they played the 49ers. He actually weighed more as a strong safety than one of the Bengals starting defensive ends, Jim Scow. Fulcher weighed 248, Scow weighed 245. Hope that makes your day complete.
It really did.
Warren Moon throwing downfield. What a play. And then coming from up is Darrell Williams. This guy's somebody to watch, this Darrell Williams. This guy can play ball.
As he covers some ground.
I mean, he closes.
Jeffries is on the top side. Now watch it. He's going downfield. Watch where Williams comes from. He's playing the free safety spot here. He's got long. Jeffries gets one hand on it. Williams just takes him out of the play. Super defense. That's outstanding.
Great second look. You saw Haywood Jeffries make the long run and the great effort and then pay the big price. Now Warren Moon comes to the line of scrimmage. Instead of 1st and 5, the Dow moves to 3rd and 5. They've not gained on the first 2.
Go to Duncan. 80.
That's an easy way to get a first down.
First down.
Downfield throw to Webster Slaughter.
Warren Moon took a shot. He's on his back, but Slaughter makes the catch. 22-yard gain on the play. Forget the penalty. They're against Cincinnati.
Bengals killing themselves with these offsides, although they hit the play anyway.
Here comes Williams. We saw him downfield. Now you see Williams back in the backfield. He's in there trying to make the play. Williams, that's Alfred Williams and Darrell Williams. Alfred's 94, Darrell is 31. That's Slaughter downfield. You talked about Dixon making a save. That's touchdown if Dixon doesn't hang on. What Moon did, even though he had the free play, and I think he knew he had the free play, but what he did is he found the man downfield, Webster Slaughter, who was covered one-on-one. And that's what this offense tries to create with the 4 wide outs, is to create somewhere in that secondary where you have a one-on-one coverage and then find him right away.
Moon stands in, lets it rip. Ernest Givens down inside the 45-yard line.
Givens is hurt. He looked like he was hurt because he stopped when he made the move. Oh, he's all right.
He talked yesterday about the hits he takes because he's one of the few receivers that consistently will go over the middle and never take his eyes off the ball. He said there's only one other that does it as much as I do. That's Andre Reed of the Bills.
I mean, and he's been knocked out more times than my kitchen lights. Watch this guy. I mean, here's the catch. And the move back upfield, he has no place to go. Actually, stop. But watch this. They bend him backwards.
Yeah.
He's all right.
He had an interesting answer, Paul, when he asked him how many times he's had a concussion. He said, I can't remember.
He really is a tough kid. Boom, Duncan, bang.
Duncan works himself down to the 35-yard line.
Well, you want to know how tough McDonald is. Here it is. You see this guy right down here? That's Duncan. Now, watch what happens with this guy at the end of this play, though. That's McDonald. Here comes Duncan. Bennett's out here. Here's the catch. That's wide open. Now, Duncan trying to get more. Watch what happens. Here comes McDonald. Bang. I mean, that play is just, I mean, that's, you could play catch all day long. We asked Moon yesterday about it. He said it's there if we want it. Well, if you want it, why not take it?
He did. Second down and just over a yard now for Houston. Game tied 10-10. 7:18 to go, third quarter. Good play fake by Moon. Looking deep. Ernest Gibbons broken up beautifully. Ricky Dixon goes high into the air and looks like the #1 draft choice he was, the high #1 when he came out of Oklahoma 5 years ago.
You have no idea how great this coverage is because Dixon is one-on-one on the outside on Ernest Gibbons. He is all alone. Take a look at it and watch this play he makes.
Boy.
Trying for the interception, couldn't make it, but it makes a sensational play knocking the ball down.
Look at Ernest. He's thinking about that.
He had touchdown. Look at Ernest. He's looking at touchdown.
Electric slide.
Yes, slide. Dixon had other thoughts. I still think this is two-down territory for the Houston Oilers. They're going to run. Lorenzo White has not touched the ball this second half.
He does now. They do indeed go to the run, and Lorenzo White has a first down for the Oilers down to the 31-yard line. Alex Gordon, number 58, makes the stop.
Well, the one thing that Lorenzo White on this play is the most important thing you think about is first down. So Alex Gordon is on the outside. All he has to do is beat 58, the linebacker. Gordon comes off the block. It's a great play by Gordon. I mean, he saves extra yardage, but he can't stop the first down. Coming off a block and making a tackle.
With Lorenzo White, the workmanlike back, the Oilers have improved their running game markedly this year. Now they look. Here's the throw, and the connection's made to Haywood Jeffries, protecting the ball. He's ahead on first down for a gain of about 5 yards, brought down by cornerback Eric Thomas. The Astrodome sold out for this matchup. As you see, the famed Dome Stadium, the first of its kind. No team from a Dome Stadium has ever gone to the Super Bowl, as you may know. Haywood Jeffries, who just caught that pass, we are looking at the fine array of cars in the Oilers parking lot. His was the finest, a $230,000 import. I said, how fast did it go? He said, well, I got it up to 150 once, and I know it'll go higher. I got nervous. Duncan defended well. Coming up is Antoine Bennett, as the Bengals continue to go with 6 defensive backs, trying to stymie, if they can, the run and shoot of Warren Moon.
Time Bennett really played it well. The one thing that Bennett's got to be very leery about, they're running this play short. Watch Bennett now. Duncan comes down. Bennett, excellent execution. Now make the tackle. That's what he's supposed to do. But you've got to be awfully careful if they don't do a little hook and go. In this part of the field, it's a little bit difficult to do that because you don't have that much field to work with. But you've got to be really careful in the middle of the field that Bennett doesn't commit himself and then Duncan's gone.
They can turn it up very quickly. And they'll be doing it before long. Moon likes to shoot to the end zone. He's looking deep now. Throws the out pattern.
Oh! A right hook.
No flag. Ricky Dixon, who's a knockout tackler.
Well, I'll tell you what. He just gave Ernest Gibbons a right shot to the head.
Ernest is okay. Ernest does great, good work around here.
Watch this right arm. Watch this right arm. Bam! Hello. That'll ring your bell.
Chip Namath, the Oilers call, was saying that Gibbons has recently purchased a number of breathing machines that he's donating to a local hospital to help asthma victims.
He almost needed one for himself.
He did. Dixon put the hit on him. Terrific part of the community, though, as well as the Oilers. Ernest Gibbons, 1st and 10. Houston challenging in the tie game. 10-10. On the run. There's the throw. Ernest Gibbons. Back up and at him all day long. Gibbons left and Gibbons right. Gibbons up the middle.
You want to see something, Cricky? When he catches that ball, you think he has to draw a crowd? Ernest Gibbons catches the ball, and watch how many people end up with Ernest Gibbons. A little short pass to the outside. Only picks up a few yards, 3 or 4. But watch this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all there.
He's on the way to a big day.
7 for 94. He'll go over 100. 1 touchdown, 1 slide.
Very nearly 2 touchdowns.
2 slides. Not as good as my slide.
Well, Ernest might want to debate you on that.
Nah, there's no
We'll have a slide off here after the game. Hand off Lorenzo White inside the 10-yard line. He's down to the 9.
Brought down by Williams, 94.
As the game clock ticking on down, the third quarter moving fast. It's down to 3:15 and running.
You know, if the Cincinnati Bengals are still staying with that defense, if they line up again in the same defense, you run the same play. That play just picked up 5 yards. There's no reason why you shouldn't come back with a play. Play works, run it.
Ball on the 9-yard line. Where it's third down.
And the key to that play is watching the center, Bruce Matthews. He must get the block. If he gets the key block up in the middle, then the play can work.
This is the 13th play of this drive coming up. As you see, they've already rolled down for 77 yards. Here's a throw and a catch. Slaughter leaves the ball on the field. They're ruling it's down. And they're ruling his reach, putting the ball on the field, was good for the first down. So the veteran Webster Slaughter, realizing the ground can't cause a fumble, reaches out and slams it off the turf for enough for a first down.
Look at Ricky Dixon again. This has been the Ricky Dixon show. They've been picking on him, and he's answered the call. He's right there every single time. But Slaughter knew how far he had to go. That's the veteran. But you've got to give an awful lot of credit to Ricky Dixon. I mean, he has just been playing a sensational game. And most of the time, he is one-on-one coverage downfield. That's outstanding.
A lot of the time, it's with the ever-dangerous Ernest Gibbons. So the Oilers and Warren Moon using the whole playbook to march down the field, and now they have it first and goal. Holding marker. Eric Thomas may have interfered. It'll be first and goal right down close. Here's a personal foul.
Well, he threw his helmet. Well, this isn't so bad unless they throw him out of the ball game, but the problem is they're going to get the ball at the 1-yard line anyway. It's only half the distance, but the holding penalty puts the ball back, and then they get another penalty on top of it. You've got to worry, my friend, Mr. Thomas, about being thrown out of the ball game. Watch his arms around the waist of Jeffrey. See his arms right here? He's holding them. If Jeffries doesn't touch the ball, they may say, okay, you know, it's not catchable. But his arm was clearly wrapped around Haywood Jeffrey. Gave up some height. Now the question is, where are you going to mark the ball? First of all, you have interference. Then after it, you have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on top of that. Here we go. Sort this one out, Pat.
We have defensive pass interference in the end zone. Put it on the 1-yard line.
Now half the distance.
Then we have 2 unsportsmanlike conduct.
Puts it in the...
We'll put it on the 6-yard line.
6 inches.
2 unsportsmanlike conduct. 1 for throwing the helmet.
The thing he's got to worry about is being thrown out of the ball game. Now, keep your mouth shut, get back in the huddle. It only cost you 6 inches.
That's right.
Now, you give the ball. All right, Trick, I've never let you really call a play. Who would you give the ball to here? And don't mess this one up.
Okay. Lorenzo White.
Warren Moon on a quarterback sneak.
Lorenzo White to the left side.
Okay.
Behind Matthews, Munchak, and Maggs. The left side.
Warren Moon to the left side.
Warren Moon to the left side of it. Did he get in, though? There's no signal yet. Looked like he got in.
It sure did look like he got in. The reason I picked Moon on the play is because...
Didn't want to risk that.
No, you don't hand the ball off to anybody. There's only one connection there. That's between the center and the quarterback. This way you don't go back and hand the ball off. Now, I don't know, I'd go... Now, yeah, I mean, you got to touch the line. Moon again.
Lorenzo White, left side.
Well, he got 4 inches on that play. Get 2 more. All right, Moon, does the ball cross the goal line? We don't care where Moon ends up. The ball's over. It's a touchdown. I mean, I don't understand this. Look at the ball.
Definitely was over. But no signal, and they go again. Second and goal. Lorenzo White, he's in. There you go, right there.
We talked about the running game, something they didn't have for a long time. But how many times have you ever seen the Houston Oilers be able to take the ball and run a lot of time off the clock and go down and score, Crick? That's what makes this team a very good football team.
That was some drive. Game clock down to 1:12 to play now in the third quarter. Del Greco, who missed the field goal at the end of the half, hits the extra point, and the Oilers again take a 7-point lead.
This is the Warren Moon touchdown. It should have been. And I'm going to tell you what why there's a big problem. Go ahead and run it. And Warren Moon comes across. Now, when we get here, freeze it. Now, look, here's the end zone line right here. This is where he has to get across, this part. Look it up to here. Here's the ball. And there's an official standing where you've got to be able to see it. The thing that makes this bad for Cincinnati is that they ran about 40 seconds off the clock to get the next play in for the touchdown. That took away from Cincinnati having the ball.
Del Greco booms the kickoff. Milt Stegall runs it back again for Cincinnati to the 22-yard line. And with 1:03 to go in the third quarter, Boomer Esiason and the Bengals offense comes back out. That man bills himself as the heckler from hell. That's what he's got in the back of his T-shirt as he swings a stuffed tiger. There is the elite heckler. Hefty gentleman, about one Domino's pizza short of a load.
The heckler from hell?
Yeah, that's what he's got in the back of his shirt.
I love it. Well, I'll tell you, they're letting an awful... Look at there. There's some more Notre Dame graduates they let in here. There's another one.
This is Halloween's coming up. Either a full moon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, these guys are like this all the time. It's Halloween every day here. Every Sunday that they have a game in Houston, it's Halloween.
Well, the Oilers and their fans breathing a bit easier as they've broken the tie. They lead 17-10, but Boomer Esiason will be looking to get it back now as he comes out. Fumble! Took all day to throw it. How can you not get hit?
Sargent gets it back, number 77. You talk about heads up, but boy, Boomer, I mean, you've had a lot of time for almost 3 quarters.
He had a lot of time there.
Oh, yeah, he did have a lot of time, but, I mean, there's sometimes you give the secondary credit, and watch this. Here comes Childress and just blindsides him.
Ray Childress is a great football player. He's also involved in a terrific endeavor here in Houston, the Childress Foundation, with Mayor Bob Lanier to help work on the crime problem with youth.
Here's where the crowd really comes into play because Boomer's trying to change the play, and this crowd is going nuts. He's got to get up underneath the center.
Long ball, Brian Brennan. Can't get to the ball. Very nearly a spectacular connection out to the 42-yard line.
Brian Brennan, this was almost a perfect pass. Boomer had it up in the air so Brian Brennan can run under it. If Brennan had a little bit more speed, he'd have been there. Here's Sargent blocking on Sean Jones. Watch this. Sean Jones tries to go to the inside. Sargent does the right thing. He grabs him. Don't get caught. But look at this ball. It's floating. Brennan's going down. He just misses the ball. What a great throw by Boomer.
Was it?
Goes offside and just points. So say, okay, Walter, you're offside. You're moving. Because he had time to get back on side. He didn't touch anybody.
Ball starts. Number 63 fires to the front. Offense. Still third down.
Well, Joe Walter makes a bad situation worse.
Yeah, the left. Watch it. See Wallace in that movement. You can't do that. You're already set. He moves. Wayne Fuller goes across points. See, he can get back on side because he didn't touch anybody. Well, you're not kidding. Make a bad situation worse.
You would not believe the noise level in the Astrodome. Like playoff fever. 10th penalty on the Bengals.
Oh.
Jerry Gray almost had his second interception of Esiason, and now the Bengals have to punt it from their own end zone. And that'll do it for the third quarter of play as time runs out. So, 17-10 the count. Houston after 3 quarters. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Don Quickie with Paul McGuire back at the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. And Lee Johnson ready to punt it from his end zone. Big rush. He gets away a long spiral. And it takes a lateral bounce and then is down at the 41-yard line.
Oh. That ball came right off the side of his foot when he hit it, Crick. It looked like it was going to take off, but it didn't. It had no velocity at all in it.
They put the big rush on. He had to hurry just to get it away. It's a doubleheader day on NBC Sports. Many of you will see the unbeaten Miami Dolphins look to go to 7-0 as they play the Indianapolis Colts in South Florida. The Broncos will be going against the Chargers at San Diego. The Browns against the Patriots at Foxborough. Check your local listings. Right now, we're 9 seconds into the fourth quarter, and Houston takes over 1st and 10 at the 41. To the 35-yard line. A gain of 6 yards on the play.
And Dixon with another super tackle. That was the play we saw in the first series of downs, the Houston Oilers in the first quarter. They ran that inside reverse to Givens coming back. There it comes. Now look how close to the line this play is. And watch 29, Dixon right here close. That is just excellent defense. Now Cincinnati, remember when they ran the reverse, they run it so deep. That gives the defense a chance to get there. Dixon made a super play, held it to almost a little under 6 yards.
Moon with a pump fake, looking deep. There goes the ball, and there goes the reception. Touchdown Oilers, Webster Slaughter.
Perfect this pass has to be because Darrell Williams was there along with Ricardo McDonald, the linebacker. Watch this perfect pass. There's McDonald short. Williams is the long man. Look where this ball's thrown. It can't be any better. It went right off the top of the helmet of Ricardo McDonald. A perfect strike and touchdown.
Ray Childress told us yesterday if we get on them early, we'll win. Actually, the Oilers are getting on them late. But they now move in command 24-10 as Webster Slaughter is in the end zone as a Houston Oiler. We'll be back with the Oilers kickoff in a moment.
The perfect pass by Warren Moon to Webster Slaughter. McDonald is there. Watch where the ball goes right over his head. Here comes Williams from the right. No chance. That ball is right there. What a beautiful throw.
Interesting, Paul. Warren Moon telling us yesterday that Webster Slaughter works so hard in practice and is so precise in his routes, right away you have confidence about going to him. He's gone to him 3 times for 61 yards and a touchdown. Milt Stegall is thrown back by Marcus Robertson, an array of blue-shirted tacklers.
Getting heated again. Somebody just got thrown away. Leonard Wheeler, quarterback number 37, he went into the pile. They threw him back out. He said, "You're too small to keep."
Throwing Leonard for distance and accuracy. Third quarter woes. 7 penalties on the Bengals. No rushing yards. 8 yards passing. 3 minutes time of possession.
Actually, give them 9, but passing. They want to take that one away.
Oilers own the third quarter, and now they've got Boomer Esiason. William Fuller, who led the American Conference in sacks last season with 15. Rolls on through.
Rick, what you've got is Boomer really doesn't have the time to throw the ball he wants to throw. He's got 4 guys coming out, and 7 people are in coverage. He's looking. The defensive secondary is there. Fuller makes his move, beats his man, and then gets in. Joe Waller is his guy. He's got Boomer by the... Oops, excuse me. Fuller. Oh, wait a second. Wait, whoa. Easy, Boomer.
Draw play. Eric Paul looking for running room, and he's out to the 25-yard line. He got 11 yards on the carry, but it still brings up 3rd down and over 5.
Childress is walking back very slowly. Brian Brennan's down. Childress is walking very slowly. He looked, I don't know whether he's got a cramp or he twisted his ankle, but it's his left ankle. Watch Childress, and they got Brian Brennan is down on the ground. Talk about a physical football game. We're seeing one.
So Brian is attended to. There's a break in the action.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Pontiac and your nearby Pontiac dealers. We are driving excitement. By Sony Handycam, America's most popular camcorder. By new improved Head & Shoulders. Now it works even better to prevent flakes. And by Coors Cutter non-alcoholic brew.
Brian Brennan is up. He took a shot in the hip, it looked like. Moving off very gingerly, but the good news is he's up and doesn't appear to be seriously hurt. Another draw play.
John Jones.
Sean Jones reads it and rips it apart.
The Bengals can't afford to lose any more players. They lost Brian Brennan, and they did double his leg back, and that's where he hurt his knee, and it is a knee. John Jones has made a super play. He spun off. He spun right into the play.
So we'll have to see whether or not Brennan is back in the game right now. As you see, Lee Johnson's in, and they need a big hit from him. His last one was just a 32-yarder from the end zone. There's Webb Slaughter back deep looking to run it back. High punt by Johnson, carries downfield. Slaughter goes over. That was a terrific punt as it ran Slaughter out of bounds.
See, I like what Johnson's doing with his kicks, too, because what he is doing there, he's not giving them a chance to run the ball back. He's kicking the ball out of bounds. There is absolutely no return. The ball's at the 25. You can't kick it any better than he just did.
Paul McGuire, for many, many years, was the leading punter in the American Football League with the Buffalo Bills. You don't see the coffin corner kick like you used to, though.
No, I'm the last guy that did that. That was 25 years ago. First half,
Without
second half.
McGuire. What a sad commentary on the coffin corner kick.
Look at this, 14 yards total. Remember, in the third quarter, Cincinnati had 9 yards passing. So far in the fourth quarter, they've added another 5 yards.
Now the Oilers will be looking to run some clock as they have a 2-touchdown lead with 11:57 to play. Lorenzo White is the running back who's going to get the ball. No, he's not. They're going to go back as White swung out. Quarterback Warren Moon looked downfield, and then he got hit by Fulcher just as he released it.
Yeah, but what he did, though, Lorenzo White, it looked like he was going to get the ball. He came over and blocked on Fulcher. They're talking, discussing. Lorenzo White did a good job because Moon had time to throw the ball. I just think Moon slipped as he was throwing the football downfield because he had Hayward Jeffries wide open. There it is. Watch 44 on 33. Bang. There's the block. Moon throws. Pulls the ball back. Fulcher makes a super play, but the ball's too short.
Bengals and the Oilers play here in the Astrodome every year, and the Bengals have not won here since 1984. They've lost 7 straight to the Oilers in the Dome. Moon with a trigger throw, and again Curtis Duncan turns out on the defensive back. Duncan getting a long look today because of the double coverage so much on Gibbons.
Greg, let me show you what's going on here, and this is what we talked about for the first half. You're going to see, here comes, right here is Ernest Gibbons. He comes in motion, right? So that leaves only one guy, Duncan, here. Out here on Bennett. Now watch what happens when Moon. He'll turn around. This thing is terrible. He'll go out to his right. Now you know he's going to throw right. And look at Duncan. One-on-one on the outside. Bennett really has no chance. They pick up the first down. It's easy.
Meanwhile, after the big play by Warren Moon, up on the speaker system comes Creedence Clearwater and Bad Moon Rising. This is a good moon.
Timeout.
Now Warren Moon wants to check it out. Goes over to the sideline, and there's a break in the action. 11:18 to play in the game, and the Oilers lead 24-10. Next Saturday, don't miss the season premiere of NBA Inside Stuff, the entertainment show of the NBA, hosted by Ahmad Rashad and Willow Bay. The Magic is back. Ahmad sits down with Lakers superstar Irvin Johnson. Don't miss his thoughts on his return to playing. Plus a very special jam session all next Saturday at noon Eastern on NBC. Check your local listings.
Free play. Defensive left hand was offside.
The better to sack the quarterback, although it comes back. Again, it was Tim Crumry who's been playing a terrific game for the Bengals.
Yeah, we were just talking about mistake after mistake, and a team that's struggling can't afford to make them.
Offside. Defense. Number 33.
They got David Fulcher. He's on the top side, and he gets a call. He breaks the plane. He's banging himself in the head. Watch on the top side of the screen. See him? There it is. He's already over. Committed himself. Now it's 1st and 5. I mean, when you're struggling, and then you're making mistakes on top of it, and it's not because he's not hustling. This guy's been all over the field, but 11 penalties for 70 yards, and we still have 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Last week at Denver, Jack Pardee saw his team penalized 16 times. 13 were marked off, 3 declined as they came a cropper.
They say no.
One hop looked good.
Moon slow getting up, or is he?
Had what they call here a full eclipse of the moon there. A complete sack of Warren.
Big Crumry again, but look at Gibbons going for that ball. You're talking about across the middle. That ball's on the ground. Actually, way on the ground. Not even there. He's trying to hide it and doesn't have it. Now here's Moon. He was a little slow getting up. I think Crumry was there again. Tim Crumry and Fulcher and company. That really, the defense has played well.
Warren Moon sets the offense again. Second down. He needs 5 from the 44-yard line. Lorenzo. Penalty markers come in as Lorenzo White booms ahead for a first down for Houston.
You know, this play here to the outside, it's just a race. It's a race. Holding against the offense. That'll be second down and 15. But this is a race to the first down marker. And Lorenzo White, every time he has done it, he has won the race. But all for naught.
Next week, the Bengals go against their rivals, the Browns, at Cleveland. Cleveland fans watching this one, standing by to watch the Browns, who are starting to look like a good football team again, go against the Patriots in one of the second games in this doubleheader day on NBC. It's Jim McNally with his head bowed, the esteemed offensive line coach of the Bengals behind David Shula.
Gary Reasons wants to know why that isn't second and 15. The only problem is the holding penalty is from the point of the infraction.
Excuse me, the Bengals are at home next week against Cleveland.
They said he was out of bounds. He didn't have control of the ball. And that's the man that made the call. Hell, jury. Watch this. Does he have control of the ball? Here's Harris. Look at the pass. One. Does he have control?
Guy's right there watching. He doesn't think he does. Nope.
No, he doesn't.
Never had it.
The ball's coming out. Don't boo, folks. He didn't have control. That was a good call.
Jack had a perfect view of it from over on the far sideline.
Yeah, he's got a good view. Watch this now. Here's the ball. Is there control? Take a look at the ball. There is no control. The ball's coming out. The ball's already out.
He didn't catch it.
No, he didn't. Good call by the officials. Another free play. Caught this one.
On the run is Leonard Harris. Down inside the 40. Warren Moon with that passing democracy. He spreads the wealth. Everybody gets a shot at the ball. And twice in a row now, it's been Leonard Harris's turn.
Offside. Defense number 79. Decline.
Lamar Rogers.
They're pulling him out of the game.
Look at this.
They put Nelson Ridgel in. They've had enough.
Yeah, they're offside, and you're getting offside and giving him a free play. And then Moon finds the open receiver, who was Leonard Harris, but he was covered by Rod Jones, who had no chance coming across the middle. Harris was just flying, and Moon hit him right on target.
The defensive coach wasn't whispering sweet nothings to Lamar Rogers when he came out. Here's a handoff, and going straight ahead as a marker comes in. Be a holding call on Houston as the umpire fired it in. Lorenzo White running with the ball.
This is getting sloppy now.
9 minutes and 38 seconds to play.
He's not a happy camper. Even though he's ahead by 14 points, he's not a happy camper.
Offense number 74.
Coach Pardee telling us yesterday when he played for Bear Bryant at Texas A&M, Bear Bryant brought 129 players to a camp one summer at Junction, Texas. He said, we went in 3 busloads. We could have come back in a station wagon. Only 29 guys came back.
He said we weren't very good either.
Well, they stuck it out.
It was only about 120 degrees there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Junction's about 3 hours west there of San Antonio.
In the equator.
Who can never forget the great games I had playing basketball for Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio.
Who?
Me. Here's a downfield throw. Incomplete at the 16-yard line.
Warren Moon again. He's throwing the ball downfield, and well, just take a look at Moon's reaction. He's just hoping, can I get it there? Can I get it there? No. He's looking downfield. Now look at Duncan. He's cutting to the inside. If he goes way inside, that's where the ball is. But if he'd have gone way inside, that's where Darrell Williams was, and you don't want to be in his territory. We saw what he'll do to you. He still has to, what Moon has to do on this play is to pick up 10 of this 20. And that's a short pass to the outside.
Kevin Gilbride's the only man other than Warren Moon is pretty sure what's going to happen.
Outside again.
These guys, either somebody's drawing them off with the legal counts or they barely jumped back in time. Haywood Jeffries hasn't gotten many today. That's just his 3rd reception, but he's taken a lot of hits. He's been close to some big ones. That's his 4th, actually, but for only 20 yards.
When I said offside, I thought they were offside. Now, what's Pat Haggerty? Who are you talking to now?
Important game coming up next week for the Oilers. They play the Steelers at Pittsburgh. If Houston wins this, they'll have a half-game lead on Pittsburgh, pending the outcome of the Steelers at Kansas City game.
Look on the outside of this play here. Now, is this offside? Sure it is. You break the play, but they never called it on the play.
The scoring this game, Oilers led at the end of the first quarter 7-0, tied 10-all at the half. Oilers dominated the 3rd quarter of play and scored, and they scored here in the 4th quarter, and now they lead the game 24-10. Houston coming in with a 4-2 record. The Bengals looking to break a 4-game losing streak. They were 2-4 at the outset of the day, but only 2 games out of first place in the AFC Central. Elton Ridgel, slam dunks. Quarterback Warren Moon. Warren checking his license plate there. See what hit him.
Well, Alfred Williams, number 94, is the man that really made the play work at the beginning. He gets from the outside. On the bottom of the screen, watch this. He comes inside. Maggs is blocking him. Now, Williams forces Moon up inside. Double team. Matthews couldn't get there. And then Rizzo ended up making the play. But give the credit First of all, to Alfred Williams. There's a man he replaced.
There's Pickens, who had a 56-yard punt return negated today by a penalty. Well hit ball downfield. Pickens just looks at it. And it goes out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So the Cincinnati Bengals in need of big plays and in a hurry get set to go on offense when we come back. The trigger man in the run and shoot. Warren Moon getting it done here today as the Oilers have taken command 24-10. Don Quickie with Paul McGuire. This is the 35th 300-yard passing day for Warren Moon in the NFL, and that ties him with Joe Montana for third on the all-time list. Maybe the play of the day, the first touchdown reception is an Oiler by Webster Slaughter.
Yeah, that puts them up 14 points. But the one thing we talked about at the beginning of this football game, if Cincinnati had any chance in this ball game, they had to stop Warren Moon. Not slow him down, stop him, and they didn't do that.
Harold Green taking those hard hits. Paying the price, holding on, and getting ahead for a gain of 10 yards on the reception and run. Shutting him down on the D side. Again, as the Oilers are back in deep coverage with extra defensive backs, so the Bengals go to the run again. Here's Jim Eddy giving the signals.
This one here is hit him in the hip. Keep your eye on him. Step on his fingers and make sure you tackle him. And how many more ulcers will I have before the end of this year? Now, let me just tell you what happens on a play like this. It's really strange. Referee gets tripped. There's a whole lot of things happen on this play. But Joe Walter moves, okay? Fuller comes across, but he can get back because he doesn't touch anybody. Joe Walter moves. Once he does, then the defense goes up inside again, and they make the contact. On the left-hand side of the screen, watch what happens. Watch. Fuller comes off. Now, see Joe Walter move back? Once he does that, there goes Childress, and it's against Cincinnati. You can't, once you set, you can't move, whether you're in a two-point stance, a three-point stance. Before the snap, offense. Yeah. But the thing that drew him off was the fact that Fuller came across, then came back, and Joe Walter put his foot outside. Their biggest concern is make sure they keep Boomer alive.
Boomer's had a good day, but they struggle later in the game now. Only one first down in the second half. Harold Green with a lot of work and not very much to show for it as he got ahead for a gain of maybe 2 yards. Just one first down in the second half for the Cincinnati Bengals.
This guy did not quit. Green, because Fuller had a shot at him, made the hit, and he kept right on going and picked up 2 yards on the play.
William Fuller, his sack count rising today. That's his second.
Man, I thought Sean Jones was offside. Number 96. He looked, I mean, it wasn't. That's the quickest start in football. And I know he was a track man. Fuller makes the sack. But Sean Jones was really flying. Here goes Boomer back to throw. He has no time. Joe Walter didn't even slow down Fuller. Oh, look out.
Boomer takes the safety and in disgust fires the leather at the wall.
The wheels just came off. And Boomer, let me say something to you, my friend. You can't do it by yourself. Sorry. There's been a lot of knocks on this guy. And he's had a hell of a day today. He really has.
Yes, he has. Bad snap as the Bengals misfire, and the Oilers' lead is now extended to 26-10 on the safety. And now the free kick comes up from the 20.
Just doing one smart thing, you know, if he gets hit and sacked, or gets hit and he fumbles, so there's the frustration. If he hit and fumble, it's a touchdown. He does the smart thing, gets out of the end zone, and drilled our camera guy. Almost a good throw, hit the camera right between his 2 eyes. He is. I mean, you talk about frustration.
This Houston victory now puts the pressure on the Pittsburgh Steelers to keep pace. Oilers heading on into Pittsburgh. Have to bring that heckler with him.
They won't let him in town. Pat Coleman is going to be back deep along with Webster Slaughter.
Showing up in that get-up in Three River Stadium could be harmful to his health. Pat Coleman is back now to return the free kick for the Houston Oilers. 5 minutes and 6 seconds left to play in the game.
You know, this would be a bad idea to kick this baby out of bounds because they can get the ball at the 35 is all. He's not doing that, I don't think. No.
Webster Slaughter breaks it, and he's out to the 48-yard line.
I mean, Lee Johnson kicked the ball off so well, and when you're up here and you're looking at that ball, he's got to kick from the 20. It wouldn't have been bad to kick the ball out of bounds. It is a kickoff, and the ball, they would have been able to accept it at the 35. Now Houston has the ball at the 48. A lot of Lorenzo White. This defense really, you know, the things that have been happening to them, Cincinnati I'm talking about, they've still not given up. You know, there's been times you look at this team, they win the first two, lose the last four, and time you could start finding some guys that want to run for the bus. They're not running. They're not even walking towards the bus.
Fighting it out. Penalties have really hurt their effort. Lorenzo White turns it up, and gets ahead for the gain of about 6 yards. Down to the 46-yard line where he's tackled by Ricky Dixon of the Bengals. Cincinnati's losing streak now to go to 5 straight games after that opening victory at Seattle. Boomer Esiason, the NFL's most valuable player in 1988. Now in his 9th year from Maryland.
You talk about a guy with guts. We told you earlier, folks, in the first game, Houston banged him around 25 times. 25 hits on him in that first game, week 6. I don't know how many times he's been drilled today.
And he was quoted in the Cincinnati paper. Here's Lorenzo White breaking it back. Penalty markers down. Boomer Esiason was quoted this week in Cincinnati as saying he does not expect to be a Bengal next year. He thinks he'll be traded.
They got a legal motion on Houston, and I don't know. 84?
Number 89.
89.
The Bengals' backup quarterbacks are Donald Hollis, who played here in Houston, also at Rice University, and their number 1 draft choice in the University of Houston, David Klingler. Klingler, you would think, is clearly the man of the future, although Hollis is a pretty darn good football player.
Yeah, but you know, I don't think, and Boomer talked about it too, I don't think Boomer's future is here with the Cincinnati Bengals. I agree. I think that
Hollis is also knows that playbook pretty well. He was a Dean's List student at Rice University, one of the top academic institutions in the country.
Boomer's just looking at, you know, he's just saying about this team. They've got to. If they start losing, you've got to go to the younger guy and take a look at some people that you're going to take a look at. He's really a frustrated man, and he's given his heart to this team. And, you know, again, we showed the list of people that are missing. They're missing from the Cincinnati offense. And, man, when you don't have those people doing the things that they do so very well, it's tough being a quarterback.
When the protection isn't there, it's a tough $3 million. That's reportedly what Boomer is salaried at, one of the top paid players. We talked, you did earlier, Paul, about the Bengals missing the bite. Max Montoya, that was a crucial loss when, as a Plan B player, he went to the Raiders. James Brooks has since been waived, and offensive threats like Eddie Brown on injured reserve. The standout wide receiver, and Anthony Munoz, the tackle. Webb Slaughter catches another one, pays the price, and holds on. Webster and Wheeler exchanging some greetings on the sideline.
I think the Cincinnati Bengals took a timeout. They did. Cincinnati Bengals took a timeout here. It's going to be 3rd down and about 2.
They really gave Warren Moon the benefit there. Look at this. Second half possessions of the Bengals. Not much happening.
There's not much. And when you look at this whole thing, forget about where you take the ball from and what happens as a result. Look at the number of plays per drive. 4 plays, 3, and then 5. I mean, it's incredible. The Oilers, on the other side in this second half, is where they opened it up. They had 3 plays and they punted the first time they had the ball. Then 15 plays and a touchdown. 2 plays and a touchdown. That's the one to Slaughter. And then they had 11-play drive and punted. And this one here, this is their last drive. It starts on their 48-yard line. 3rd and 2. This is where you run Lorenzo White to the sideline and try to get him to the flag.
Lorenzo White's the man. He has the first down. He sees it down to the 42-yard line. The domed schedule of the Houston Oilers, they don't get outdoors too often.
We talked about the one thing that Houston has to do if they want a shot at having home field advantage and getting themselves into the playoffs and through the Super Bowls. That's to win all of the games under this dome, or under the dome. Now, they're going to go outdoors against Pittsburgh, Miami, and Cleveland. Pittsburgh and Cleveland may have some inclement weather, but Miami sure won't.
The loss that this is home games versus dome games. Jack Party's Oilers may rue the day, opening day, when they lost to the underdog Steelers. That could decide the division in the end. Steelers up 1-0 in head-to-head competition with the second meeting coming up next week. Gary Reasons was on the tackle. The ex-New York Giant, he played on their 2 Super Bowl winners of the last 5 years. What's ahead for the Bengals at home against the Cleveland Browns next Sunday at Riverfront Stadium. Then they go into Chicago to meet the Bears. Go to New Jersey to play the Jets. Come home to play Detroit. And then they go against the Steelers.
Those 5 games, they have a pretty good chance of winning them.
When you're down and out, lift up your head and shout, help.
Yeah. Jim McNally.
Looking for help. Out pattern. Ernest Given. Down to the 35-yard line. Rod Jones was on the tackle.
Jim McNally, you know, the guy, old Buffalo guy, UB. But Jimmy, I was talking to him yesterday. Just, you know, there's a lot of problems when, you know, your offensive line and you're mixing and matching. You've got a whole bunch of guys that, and you're really your best player at this point is Kevin Sargent, who's a free agent. It really puts a strain on you. They lose Max Montoya when he was gone. And I'm going to bring that up because it started the demise of this powerful offense. And then you just keep losing player after player. But the thing about when you talk about Cincinnati, and we talked to Houston yesterday about playing this team, is that the most amazing thing about it was when Jim Eddy said, we want this team, we stopped the run, we want them to pass. Now, it's been a long time since anybody wanted the Cincinnati Bengals to throw the football.
Second half yards, unbelievable. Houston has 203.
Cincinnati has 8. They went from 14 to 8. And those are the sacks. They're going backwards. The third quarter, they had 9. Now with 2:43 in the fourth quarter, they have 8. Not good.
Smooth throws off the hand of Webster Slaughter, and very nearly a pick, a loose ball in the air.
The guy that's been hustling all day, Ricky Dixon, number 29, has got Slaughter man-to-man. Slaughter goes down. He hooks into the middle. The ball is there. A little bit late to the outside. Slaughter really had no chance on that ball. And the Houston Oilers, on 4th down and 4 or 3, they're going to go for it.
Game clock down to 2:39 and stopped on the incomplete pass.
And I would, well, I still wouldn't be surprised to see him run here.
Curtis Duncan with the first down. And they keep the clock running. It will wind down to 2 minutes to play before the next play.
Boy, when you have one-on-one coverage on the outside. They're just, I mean, it's just pitch and catch. Curtis Duncan has had a field day today.
An additional problem, Paul, for the Bengals and David Shule is that 17 of his players are in the final year of their contracts. So there might be big changes in the makeup of this team. The face of the Bengals could change. We'll be back in a moment as we're down to the 2-minute warning. And now it's time for the Hager Wrinkle-Free Cotton Super Play of the Game.
Webster, Slaughter. Watch this throw and catch. McDonald is there. Slaughter is there. And most importantly, the ball is there. Touchdown.
It's amazing, Paul, how Warren Moon spreads the ball around. Givens has 8 receptions for 100 yards. Duncan has 9 for 54. Slaughter's caught 4 for 68 and a touchdown. Harris has caught just 2. Jeffries has caught 4 for 20 yards. The leading receiver coming in, Haywood Jeffries.
Really is amazing. I mean, everybody gets into the act. The only guy that didn't catch a ball today was Lorenzo White.
I predict Lorenzo will get the ball right now. Lorenzo White, hours ahead. Game 2 of the doubleheader is still to come. Most of you will see the unbeaten Miami Dolphins put their 6-game win streak on the line against the Indianapolis Colts with some of the best young defensive players in the NFL. Denver goes against the Chargers at San Diego. Watch out for San Diego the rest of the way. They might not be a playoff team, but they're going to beat a lot of good teams. And the Browns, starting to rise up, go against the winless Patriots at Foxborough. Check your local listings. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NFL football is John Faratzis. Today's game was produced by Glenn Adamo, directed by John Gilmartin, technical director Dave Mazza, associate director Doug Grabert. We thank them all, as well as statisticians Frank Priddy and Mike Kay, and spotters Kevin Eichenfelder and Ernie Morse.
Just here, Ricky Dixon did. Oh, you think he quit? I'm sorry, not today. Ricky Dixon and popped one of the offensive linemen. I mean, he just took a shot. I might as well have one more on the way out.
And our technical manager, Steve McEwen.
Oh, I'm telling you, Crick, you've got to love it. Watch the left side of the screen. Look at it. Bam!
Mags.
That's Mags. Mags weighs 350 pounds.
Then Ricky clears out. He saw how big the guy was he hit.
Ricky said, oh, give one more shot.
It's like hitting a bear with a switch.
Is that awful? Oh, man, I love it.
The Oilers sending their fans home happy. And the Oilers will run it out. 19 seconds to play. And Houston ends a week of heartbreak after the last-minute loss to Denver and comes back with a victory. And the Bengals losing streak goes to 5 games.
The one thing about the Bengals coming into this football game, I don't think there was a soul in Texas or maybe around the country that would give them a chance of even competing in this football game. And they really hung in there for a long period of time.
They self-destructed a lot with a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, but they never lost their fight. And that's certainly a credit to the coaching staff and to the fiber of this team. The Bengals aren't packing it in. They're going to win some more games. Warren Moon and Boomer Esiason maybe talking about their next commercial together.
Well, one thing Boomer said, and we showed you the schedule ahead, the next 5 games, is Cincinnati really has a chance competing in those games and winning them.
Coming up next, stay tuned for Game 2 of our NBC NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see Dan Marino and the undefeated Dolphins go against the Indianapolis Colts. Some of you will see the Broncos against the Chargers or the Browns against the Patriots. Now for Paul McGuire, this is Dennis Rickey. Glad you could be with us from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas.